pressure looks good.
Following up. Roger, roll with planet. Flight outside of speed off.
Yikes. You bet. Okay. We don't need any more of these.
Hey, all right, tank watching fans. It is time for another thrilling episode of Texas Tank Watchers live from Boca Chica, Texas. NASA spaceflight crew is here this evening watching what is going on with Starship SN8. You can see it looks like the recondenser has already fired up, so that means that it's time for us to fire up the stream here. Y'all know the drill. Let me know if you can hear us right now and see the Starship SN8 prototype live there on the screen. Let me know that that's all working correctly. I'm John Galloway with NASA Spaceflight. I'll be one of your hosts this evening. Joining me are the other usual suspects that you've seen or heard quite often lately. I know that we've got Jack Beyer on the line. Jack, we got you on comms?
What's up? What's up? Let me know if you can hear me all right.
All right, good deal. And then we also have Michael Baylor online. Michael, you with us? Talking while muted.
Yes, how's it going, everyone? I'm not tired, and I'm not talking while muted.
And then, of course, last but certainly not least, we have the live feed from Boca Chica because Mary, Boca Chica gal, is out there. She has been waiting, I want to say patiently, but honestly, it's a lot of waiting that's been happening for these tests. So give a round of applause in chat for Boca Chica gal for bringing us another fantastic live feed from Boca Chica, Texas. Again, that's Starship SN8, and we think that we're going to get some engine testing this night. So far, they've been trying to get these tests done. Schedule's taken a little bit longer than anticipated, but they continue to try and push forward to get up to a static fire. We have not seen a static fire on SN8 yet. Yesterday, I believe we saw a pre-burner test. Is that correct, y'all?
Yeah, that's correct. And we are expecting another pre-burner test to start off this morning. So that indicates that the pre-burner test that occurred yesterday morning was not perfect. It didn't seem to have any obvious problems that we could tell, but something happened that is causing them to want to redo the pre-burner test. We understand. So we're expecting a pre-burner test first. Everything goes perfectly. And if they still have enough time left in the window, which closes at 6 a.m., there is a possibility that they could recycle for a static fire attempt, although that is not likely. Again, that only will happen if everything goes perfectly and they still have time. So I'm not sure, based on it already being almost 1 a.m., if they're going to have enough time, but I think it might still be within the realm of possibility, at least in terms of timing. I'm not sure, what the odds are that everything goes perfectly with the pre-burner test, so much so that they have full confidence to go straight for the static fire without a long data review, but we'll see what happens.
Yeah, gotcha. So again, y'all, we are just spooling up the stream here. They've turned on the recondenser. You see that tank farm has gone crazy over there, but we are expecting to see, hopefully, first up, a pre-burner test. Now, what's the difference between a pre-burner and a static fire, right? I know there's a lot of conversation about what the difference is. This is my way, the way that I sort of differentiate a static fire of the engine and not a static fire, right? Regardless of whether or not you see fire, is whether or not the engine generates any appreciable amount of thrust. So they can do all sorts of things with the engines without actually lighting them. But if they light the engines, if they turn the engines on proper, the engine starts to generate a significant amount of thrust. You'll get a massive plume of dust. We did not see that last night. Anybody with a set of eyes can look at that video and see that there was no big dust plume last night. So there was no thrust being generated from that engine. So that's what we expect to see here first. We expect to see a pre-burner test, which would just be a big fireball, but no appreciable thrust, no kicking up of dust from underneath the test stand there. And if everything goes well, like Michael said, hopefully they have time left in the window to proceed forward to the first ever 3 Raptor static fire. Now, I'd be careful because I don't know that they're going to get it on the first try. If they go and they try to light these engines, actually do a static fire of the engines, it's not just one engine. We've seen that before. It's not just 2 engines. It would be 3 Raptor engines lighting at nearly the same time and I guess being online at the same time. That would be a first. They've tested these engines left, right, front, and center. They test them, they build them, test them, or they build them and they take them out to McGregor. They test them. They have all sorts of test stands there, but I'm not aware of any test stand at McGregor that can actually support the ignition of 3 Raptors along the same axis at the same time. Jack or Michael, do y'all know? I think they don't even have a stand like that at McGregor, do they?
I think that's correct.
Yeah, I mean, maybe they have different stands and they could fire 2 Raptors at the same time, but not mounted to the same piece of equipment like this. So
Yeah,
this,
and part of
Go
what they're
ahead.
testing is surely firing Raptors in close proximity together from the same set of tanks. I mean, part of definitely what they're testing is the interaction between all 3 of the Raptors as they fire, acoustical loads and the vibration loads and all of that.
Yeah, all the because remember they're stuffed up underneath that skirt, and there's going to be a lot of interaction between them. So this will be a first if SpaceX can do this. We do have ambient audio this evening, and I am going to bring up the crickets a bit, but it's mostly just crickets and wind. If the wind gets to be a little bit too much, I will pull that back because I don't want it to just be constant wind in your ears. But we'll listen to some crickets in the background, and y'all give me some feedback as you do as we stand by for whatever SpaceX is going to be able to accomplish here this evening. Did I miss anything else interesting or crazy last night? We were sort of splitting shifts, and y'all took last night. Then when I woke up, y'all had just gotten started. Did I miss anything during that? Because I went back to sleep, honestly.
I mean, the liquid oxygen tank venting that we're going to see is pretty intense. There are now 3 vents. We presume there are 1 vent for each Raptor. So the intensity of the venting is pretty. It's like a high rate of gas, or at some points it almost looked like there's a bit of liquid coming out, but it's pretty intense venting
Drone.
that's going to be
I
happening.
heard the drone.
Oh yeah, here I'll bring it up.
Classic drone quadcopter.
For a lot of mosquitoes. Flying in formation.
To carry you away.
And some of our members in our members Discord server have been keeping track of the different testing sequences that we've seen, and they're trying to estimate at what point, like what the approximate T-minus time is for the test. So
They were startlingly accurate yesterday, so it's definitely useful to do something like that. And granted, things change, but it was very useful for that second attempt to have a relatively educated guess when things were going to progress to what stage.
So the current estimate from Adrian is 130 to 140 local for the T0 based on when the recondenser fired up. A bit under an hour from when the recondenser starts to the T0. So the next thing we're looking for, right now we're at the tank farm activity status on the timeline you can see on the left hand side. The next thing we'll see is propellant loading. We know that propellant loading has started when we see condensation and vapors coming out of the bottom of SN8. Slightly before that, we might see some gaseous venting from the top of SN8. We think that's when they first pressurized it with nitrogen, although we're not entirely sure. But we'll definitely see condensation coming out of the base of Starship SN8 when they start flowing this cryogenic propellants into the Starship. So that's the next thing we're looking for. And then after that, I think it's maybe like 10 or 20 minutes after. And there's a vent right now from the top of SN8.
Yep,
so
up at the top, but you can hear it.
They are pressing it. But after the propellant loading, the next thing we're looking for is liquid oxygen to start venting. Liquid oxygen tank to start venting. So there's 3 vents about 10 to 20 minutes after the propellant loading status changes, most likely. And then within a minute or 2 of the liquid oxygen tank venting, the T-minus 10 minute siren will sound. And then, if all goes well, 10 minutes after that, we'll have the pre-burner test. So that's the sequence of events we're looking for to start off this testing sequence this morning.
So that's right. For the test they're doing tonight, we actually do get a siren. I know that Mary got that notice again. Did they do the siren 10 minutes in advance of pre-burner last night?
Yeah, that was the thing that tricked us last night, because the previous tests we've seen for preburner. And actually I just saw some vapors from the bottom of SN8, so I'm going to update to propellant loading.
Yeah, you can
But-
still see it there.
Yeah, but the we didn't recall hearing a siren for a preburner test with SN4 and I think it was SN4 was the last Starship that had a preburner test, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, I don't remember that either. A siren for that. It was just for
Yeah.
actual static fires.
Yeah, so we thought when we heard the preburner that we were originally expecting a preburner test, but then once we heard the siren, we were thinking maybe Elon said this is taking too long, we're going straight for the static fire, but it was just a preburner test yesterday morning, and it took 2 attempts. So the first preburner attempt was aborted, and then about 2 hours or so later, maybe they recycled for another attempt. That we saw lots of fire, but presumably it did not go perfectly because again, we believe they're making another preburner attempt this morning at 12:57 a.m. Central Time currently.
Good times, good times. And again, y'all, this window goes all the way up until 6 a.m. local time. You can see that it's just coming up on 1 a.m. So 5 hours left in the window. That's an awful lot of stuff to get done. I don't want to get anybody's hopes up. It's possible that there could be a static fire, but it is most likely tonight. We are just going to see the pre-burner test. So don't let that deter you. There's still going to be something to see, and you'll be able to listen to the dulcet sounds of our voices here. But we'll be here with you as long as something's happening out there at Boca Chica. Again, this is Starship SN8, the crew that is here with you this evening. I'm John Galloway with NASASpaceflight. On the line as well, you just heard Michael Baylor talking, and then we had Jack Beyer on there as well. Say hi real quick, Jack, so they can hear your voice. Caught him off guard.
He's getting his coffee ready, probably.
Oh, darn it! I said my stupid dad joke while muted. Hi, Jack, real quick, so you can hear my voice. There we go.
Well done, sir. That's Jack Beyer, and then running the camera out there and doing all the daily videos and everything else that only Mary's dedication can keep up with. Mary, Boca Chica gal, is out there running the live stream and recording all this evening. It's not just this evening. She was out there earlier today. She was out there this morning. She was out there last night. So if you see cool-looking video coming from Boca Chica, it's most likely coming off of a camera that is operated by Mary. So we are standing by. Again, we don't have any exact timing on this, but like Michael said, the estimate that he was sort of looking for was probably around, did we say around 1:30, Michael?
Yeah, 1:30 to 1:40 was what the members in our Discord have predicted.
Calculated.
We'll put them to the test, and we will find out what kind of grade you're going to get this morning.
There's a lot of condensation from around and under Starship. Look at that. Did we see that last night?
The lower part or coming down from the bottom of the skirt?
Kind of like right under them. I think it's fine. It's starting to get really active around the GSC there. It's good.
Yeah. And I'm going to run this real quickly, y'all. We've had a whole stack of super chats already come in. We're able to afford to be able to do all this because y'all keep showing up and support us, not only just by watching and liking and subscribing or whatever the kids are doing these days. I think it's mostly TikTok now. Should we be Starship TikToks? I don't know if that's a thing. It's outside of my wheelhouse. But we're able to keep doing this because of y'all's support. Infinite Puffin, thank you so much for joining the membership there. We appreciate the support. Welcome to the Space Fam. Wait, can I say your name? Look, AC, I don't know if I'm supposed to say your name or not this evening, so I don't want to get you in trouble with the wife saying I missed you guys. So we appreciate you, AC. We'll keep it on the DL there for a second until you confirm or deny whether you're in the clear. Toby, Canadian 699, saying, are we sure it's another pre-burner test? Anyways, love the daily updates. Much love, Mary. Toby, thank you for the kind words for Mary there. Also, we go by the information that we have. We think it's most likely going to be a pre-burner test. I don't, like we said, we don't get official word. There's not a press release or anything that comes down the pipe. But I think we're pretty sure that they're going for a pre-burner test here first, right, y'all?
Yep.
Okay. So, yes, sure. I mean, anything could happen. Elon Musk is in charge of this operation, so for all we know, it may take off tonight. Actually, there's paperwork that hasn't evolved, so it shouldn't take off. But we appreciate the support there, Toby. Thank you so much. We've got Alabama Thingies. I do that refers to, but I'm just going to keep on going. Glad to be back watching this with y'all. Haven't missed the stream since May. Passion drives the looks like me. Let's light this thing. Alabama thingies, thank you for the words of encouragement there. Some of these streams do get really long, and sometimes you sit there all night and you don't actually see anything. So we are going to be here. If there's something to see, we'll be here and talk incessantly about it. How's that sound? Even if it's just clouds of smoke coming from the base of this test stand. We appreciate you. Honeylock. This is Honeylock somewhere in Europe, because that's a Euro sign. It says, what's holding the rocket down today? Probably must be 3x stronger, right? Do we know? I don't see straps on it, because when we had the smaller tanks and we had cryo test to failure, they strap it down. Are we sure that the SN8 is bolted to the test stand? Is it just sitting there? Do we know?
It's
guys?
bolted.
It's bolted down?
Yeah, you can kind of see. So if you look at SN right now, the center of it from our perspective, you can see there's the white condensation coming out from underneath the skirt. And kind of right in the center between SN8 and the mount, there is a very obvious black square. That is the one of 6, I believe, clamp type mount. I don't know if it's a clamp or a mount or what, but there's 6 attach points with a good number of very large looking bolts. And that is how they attach it to the stand. I don't know if it's like free sitting there or like technically bolted in or what. I'm not quite sure how that layout works. But looking at pictures that Mary's taken of those attach points, it sure looks like they bolted in. But I don't know. Maybe they only undo it for flight, bolted in otherwise, or maybe it's just sitting there under its own weight and that's sufficient. I'm unclear, but it looks to me like it's bolted in.
Gotcha. And it's almost like, I mean, we know there's 6 landing legs on it, right? Those little stubby landing legs that pop out. And are the bolt points sort of near the landing legs, almost like there's 6 load-bearing spines or something in there?
Yeah, exactly. That's exactly what they're doing. And that's part of why the legs are folded up the way that they are, I guess. Because they're using those same sort of stubs, whatever you want to call it, that the legs fold down and transfer the load through. Those are the same stubs that they...
And we might have lost you for just a second there, Jack. You said those are the same stubs that... And then it stopped. We lost the rest of your audio.
Oh, weird. But yeah, that's what they're mounted on, is the same points that the feet are transferring their loads through. Gotcha. And James Alkins in chats, there are bolt points. Seems to be 6 to 8 with 6 to 8 bolts per point. So yeah, I would agree with that.
There you go. All right. So to the best of our information, it is bolted down to the test stand, is what we think. That's how we think that it works. Greg Hanshu, $25. We appreciate you, Greg. Sorry if I mispronounced your name, but we appreciate the support there. Steve Withers as well, coming in with 20 New Zealand bucks. Appreciate you, Steve. Thank you. 555 SMO. I feel like in later iterations of SNs, they will combine the vents since the heat tiles will cover a large portion of the vehicle. Talking about what happens whenever they actually put the heat shielding on it. Now, are we sure that only one side of the vehicle is going to have the TPS, the thermal protection system? It's just sort of like the ventral side, the underbelly, right?
Yeah, and it would be the opposite side right now, right?
Yeah. So the way we're looking at it, we're looking at the top of SN8 right now. Like if it was flying through the air horizontally, this is sort of the back of the dorsal side, like where the shark fin would be if it was a shark swimming through the water. And the ventral side, the underbelly, is where the tiles would be. So those would be on the far side. And I don't know that there are any vents on the far side in the final design, but it does make sense. They probably wouldn't have a vent going through a thermal tile to get a nice belly full of plasma whenever it's going through range reheating. So good call there. On the, I don't know why I didn't actually show that one, but there it is, 555. Sorry, I didn't put that on the screen. Appreciate the 25 bucks, and that is a good observation about vents and heat tiles.
Yeah, I mean, talking about that triangle vent that we were talking about seeing yesterday, that triangle vent, think about it, if it is in fact, and we don't know, but if it is in fact one vent per Raptor for 3 vents, 3 Raptors, when they get the sea level Raptors on there, presumably that would require 6. Definitely FF or 555 SM. They're going to need, I wouldn't be surprised did some sort of manifold to combine those vents, even just the sea level Raptors with the vacuum Raptors, so that instead of having 6 ringing around the entire Starship, they just have 3, or maybe they pipe them all into 1 or something. But we were talking about this a little bit last night, and I think part of the reason, or something people need to keep in mind, is part of the motivation for how they're building Starships is speed. And it's if those are like Raptor chill lines and they're going to change the design for a future iteration, well, this works for this design, get it out the door and get it flying, get data off of it. So I fully expect that to change. Good observation.
Yeah, to evolve as they make changes to this, because they don't have to build the perfect starship the first time. They just have to build a starship that's going to do what they need to do. Like when we see the pressure tests, the cryo tests, the different types of materials on the SN7.X's, right? The 7 tanks that they were testing, they didn't put a lot of equipment on that because they were just testing the tank structure. They were testing the materials and stuff, and then they did cryo tests. They pushed on it or they tested to failure. But they just make what they need to test. They're not trying to make the complete starship in the first iteration, sort of walking their way in. Let's see here. Vaguely Sober. Vaguely Sober says, let's light this upside down candle. Nice, Vaguely Sober. Java Man with a membership. Appreciate you. Welcome to the Space Fam. But I'm not going to say that all the time. I'm just going to say that like that time there. Blake Parsons, Australian, over there on the other side of the globe. Glad I didn't miss this stream. Here's a bit of support. We appreciate the support there, Blake. Thank you very much. Fireball Free is a new member. Welcome, Fireball. Wow, you guys, I thought there were just a couple to go through, and now there's an entire stack here. James Alkins actually, sorry for that. Alkins, $20 saying standing by for anything that happens. Love hanging out with y'all. James, we appreciate you. Thank you so much for joining us this evening. Haha. Andre Carmel says his wife is long asleep. It's 3 a.m. here, but I'm getting a lot of flack because of these late nights. You and me both, Andre. My wife is sleeping as well, and I'm over in the studio. Hopefully I'm not talking too loud this evening. But luckily, she was not trying to go to sleep while I was streaming, because I do have sort of a voice that projects when I'm doing presentation mode stuff. So we appreciate the support as always, Andre. Let's speed run some here. Casual Time Machine. $5. Love everything SpaceX is doing for humanity. Thanks for streams like these. I can't wait to see what the future holds. Watching from Alaska. I don't know that I've ever seen anybody check in from Alaska before, but we appreciate you there, Casual Time Machine. Got Alien Activity is a membership. Welcome, Alien Activity. Nerdly Night. Nerdly Night. A little bit of math. Velociraptor equals distance raptor divided by time raptor. That's how you get a Velociraptor. Thank you, Nerdly.
Triangle vent.
Wow.
Look at that.
No kidding. So where does that put us from what we saw?
That puts us like 12 minutes away, I think. Maybe slightly more. We'll get a revised estimate from our Discord, but I think that means it's going to be earlier than the original prediction.
Yeah, those are going full steam compared, like basically same sort of volumes we were seeing as last night. Although maybe, oh, yep, there we go. There's blocks. That telltale blue color you can see on the right side as that plume falls downwards and is backlit by the lights. Such a cool color.
Okay, so our new revised time from the Discord estimates from our members is 1:21 a.m. So
1:21.
We should be expecting a siren within the next minute or two. And remember, those estimates are not perfectly accurate. They're just estimates. And even the siren, you don't know how long it takes SpaceX to radio to the police or the sheriff, and the sheriff turn on the sirens and start driving around. So the T-minus 10-minute siren may not actually be 10 minutes on the dot. So there could be some fluctuations there, but we're very close to a pre-burner test if all goes well.
Well, they are just jumping through it, aren't they, this evening?
Yep.
I mean, it seems like it, but actually what we did is we waited until we were pretty sure something was going to happen before we started the stream. None of this sitting around for 5 hours. Well, now I'm going to jinx it. I'm going to shut up.
Yeah, I was going to say, don't say that, Das. Don't say that, Das. Still have like 5 hours left in the window.
Rockets have really good hearing. You can't talk about them that way. But look at that.
Yeah,
I mean, that's... Go ahead, Jack.
Of course, there's a guy in the control room with the confused media button. That's also a factor as well.
But look at that. That's not just venting. That is actual liquid coming out of the side. You can see it sort of cascading from that vent. That is a serious volume that is actually that has some liquid cryo coming out of the bottom of it there. So
That is liquid oxygen coming out and turning into a gas. That's why it arcs out like, right? Because it has a weight to it before it turns into a gas.
Yep.
So? Would that be sublimation, where it turns straight from gas or from a liquid into a? No, sublimation is a solid, right?
Yeah, sublimation is solid like dry ice. That's boiling actually. What you're seeing there is liquid oxygen boiling off.
Super cool.
Yeah, literally. Look, all right, I had to throw that in there. I had my daughter all week. I hung out with my daughter all weekend. I had to get the dad jokes out of my system. So.
Yeah, I mean, I do throw them in anytime you give me an opportunity. So I guess I deserved it.
So again, y'all, based on our observational math and timing here, it may be that we're about 10 minutes away. We'll see. We'll listen in for the siren, and I will be standing by to crank up the ambient volume if we start to hear that siren.
Yeah, should hear that siren any minute.
Yeah. And again, this is going by the observed timings of previous tests. No guarantees, but what we've seen before, the different things that you can observe, this vent opens, this happens, this starts to go, and then we count how long it is, how many minutes it is until the next part of the test. Based on what we've seen, it may be 10 minutes. But again, we're waiting for that siren. SpaceX saying they're going to blow that siren, actually, it's the sheriff who drives around Boca Chica Village, blaring the siren as the 10-minute warning that in case there is some sort of overpressure event, warning people to get out from basically behind glass. Don't stand near glass whenever we do this test, is what they're saying.
Did I just hear a walkie-talkie noise?
Yeah, I thought I heard something and I shut up to listen.
That last night or yesterday morning, dressed before the siren started. So you're wondering if the sheriff was like next to Mary or something.
Yeah. A lot of times we get people asking, why is there fire on the left-hand side? That's just there's an orange light over there, and it's sort of lighting up the vapors orange. That is, I mean, in this situation, that's clearly not fire. That is just an orange light illuminating some part of the vapors.
Okay, I thought it was mustard gas. So I thought it was, evil murder gas.
Whoop. There you go. I'm not a siren expert, but that sounds like a siren to me.
I am not a sirenologist.
Sirenologist?
Yeah,
Sirologist?
Sirologist. That's cool, though. Now we can... the walkie-talkie theory ended up being correct.
Yeah, y'all heard the walkie-talkie. You could hear just a little bit of walkie-talkie, and then all of a sudden it was like getting the radio call to blow the siren. How about that?
Sheriff's just sitting at the roadblock waiting. He gets a call on the walkie like, all right, we're going to launch it. All right, we're going to launch this thing. And he turns on the siren. Perfect.
There you go. So, y'all, there's a whole stack of super chats over here. Also on the Twitch side, Dangerous and Iron Catastrophe. I see y'all with the resubs. I'm going to put all those on hold as we come up on now less than 10 minutes before what we believe will be a pre-burner test. Basically just a big old ball of fire coming out of the bottom of the thing. We don't know for sure. They didn't send out a flyer saying, yes, it is NASASpaceflight. Make sure you tell the viewers that it's a pre-burner test tonight. That is not a thing that they do. So let's see what happens. I hear the drone again.
I don't know that I do.
Yeah, I do.
Okay, I defer to y'all.
Maybe with the car. I don't know.
I wonder if the atmospheric conditions are just different tonight. The weather's a little bit different, or less wind or something. Because the entire bottom of the enveloped by condensation. That's quite something.
Yeah, it sounds like the drone maybe flew past really quickly, like it just,
The siren's at 113, 114-ish.
Yeah, it was like
114,
I think, when I looked up. And again, you can still hear it.
Yeah. But yesterday...
The drone?
Go
no, the siren. Sorry, the siren.
Okay.
Yeah, I was going to say yesterday on both of the pre-burner attempts, we saw the liquid oxygen vent on the right-hand side spray out super quick, like a half second before the ignition occurred. So let's look for that.
Looks like they've almost made the whole lap here. I do think that siren was right next to Mary whenever it started.
Yes.
Because it started
Yeah.
loud.
That would explain the walkie-talkie theory.
Yeah. Again, y'all, that's Starship SN8 out there. We're standing by for some engine tests this evening. Wait for the vehicle to go by. Live from Boca Chica, Texas. We've got this live feed because Mary, Boca Chica gal, never stops documenting Starship and Starship activities. Starship and Starship, what is it? Accessories? I don't know what it is. She is
Starship
always,
and Starship.
yeah,
Nice.
the Starship and Starship accessories. She is always out there documenting this stuff. So again, give it up for Mary in chat. We would not have this live video from Boca Chica unless she was out there doing it for us this evening. So we'll see. Maybe coming up on 5 minutes before we may get this pre-burner test.
Talking about dang old Raptor engine, talking about methane, talking about whoop. That's my best boom hammer. I gotta work.
Hey, I'll take it.
If there's two voices I could do, it would be like just to pick two that I could magically do amazingly. It would be Droopy and Boomhauer. Those are quality voices.
Droopy? Those are like two opposite ends of the voice spectrum. Like one is like slow and drawled out, and the other one's like rapid fire.
Yep. I just want to be able to do Droopy, so whenever I'm at a launch event or something like that, I can just very deadpan look over at somebody at like T-15 and go, "I'm so happy."
Hey, Nigel, we appreciate you there. Nigel said stunning picture quality as well. It is, now you made me nervous. Yeah, we have full bandwidth right now. We've got our 3 modems kicking along, and we're pushing 8,000 kilobits out from the field right now. So it looks quite nice this evening. Chris B in chat. 2 people hit dislike. This is why we can't have nice things. I wonder, before the pre-burner happens, I wonder how many thumbs up we can get on the video.
And that just exploded. There you go. Not the rocket. Thumbs up number. Oh god.
Yeah. Oh, it just went. My screen said 366, and then it said 1,000 all of a sudden. 1,300 now.
We appreciate the support.
1,425. Look at this. Every time it updates, I get more. 1,500. 1,500 out of 2,000. 2,000 out of here. I can't do auctioneer, but I almost wish that I could. We need to get an auctioneer on here to do a launch with them one day. That'd be cool.
And Falcon going high. That'd be really great.
I could keep it up for like 2.3 seconds, and then I just fall all over myself. Like,
I do think it'd be fun to expand the videos we do on the channel a little bit and do a couple funny ones every now and then. And auctioneer calls a Falcon would be a hilarious video.
That would be a hilarious video. I had one time over on my Twitch stream, I had one of the announcers from ULA do the callouts for a Kerbal launch.
That was one of my favorite live streams you've ever done.
Really?
Yes, that was great.
That was so much fun. But we're coming up on, 2 minutes now. 2 minutes, 4 minutes? What are we thinking?
Something in that range. Depends how accurate that siren was.
Based on the siren, we're at 3 minutes 44 seconds, but who's counting? But that's based on the siren, and as we always say, there could be a little bit of flexibility there in the, between when the officer or whoever fires off the siren gets the word to do it and then does it. There's it's not an immediate thing once they're ready to go. So who knows? Maybe they tell the officer, hey, do the siren at like 11 minutes. So they account for that lag time there. But either way, according to my timer, which was set the second we heard the siren, we are just about 3 minutes away, give or take. Very exciting of a pre-burner test of Starship serial number 8.
Good deal. And hey, check this out. If you want to get the word out so your friends don't miss it, there is a tweet with a link to the live stream right there. If you click on that, maybe do a retweet or something to get the... Oh! Stand by. Well,
There's fire
Yeah.
underneath right now.
Yeah, there is.
I think it's
Looks like-
maybe out. It's hard to tell.
Yeah, it looks like
Yeah.
it's probably out.
I don't see it continuing.
Well, now we wait for a tweet from Elon, hopefully. Obviously not a given that it'll happen, but that's about the only way that we'll find out if that was successful or not. But certainly looked like more orange
Yeah,
than last
I
night.
agree.
Do you guys agree?
I
Yeah.
agree. I think that was probably all three. There may or may not have been an engine missing last night. We'll just say that. But that looked like a proper 3-engine pre-burner from what we can tell. Of course, we don't have access to the data, so unless Elon tweets, we won't know for sure if it was successful. But from what we could tell, that looked like a good pre-burner test.
Yeah. That just suddenly, I mean, that came in maybe 2 minutes before we even thought it was going to. It came right after 1:21 there, a.m. Central Time down there in Texas, but that was what a pre-burner test looks like. Big old bunch of flame, but no dust. Again, the difference is that the engines don't make any appreciable amount of thrust during a pre-burner test, so you don't get any force impacting the ground underneath the launch stand, kicking up a bunch of dust or fog or anything like that. So that's what a pre-burner test looks like, as opposed to a static fire where the engine actually generates some appreciable, noticeable amount of thrust, and you get some force hitting the ground, kicking up a cloud of dust.
Hey guys, guess what? It's not doing venting.
Interesting. On the top,
Yeah.
huh? The top vents?
Maybe if they are able to look at this data and they see what they got and it looks good. I think we're like 3 levels of maybe deep now, but potentially they could go for a static fire tonight with several hours left window, assuming what just happened was nominal.
Yeah. Again, that puts us just over, what are we looking at? 4 hours and 40 minutes. Just under 4 hours and 40 minutes left in the window. So that sure is a pretty good amount of time for them to actually do it. Maybe some more tests.
And then in our member Discord, Adrian's saying that 12 minutes from the triangle vent to fire is so far, based on the data that we have, 100% accurate. I think that's two data points. So
There you
only
go.
2, I think, at this point. But still, if that proves to be consistent going forward, that 12-minute triangle vent might end up being the equivalent Starship of Falcon 9's 20-minute kind of burp, if you're familiar with that.
Yeah.
3 data points. 3 data points. Sorry.
Oh, no. We have 3 data points?
It's 3, not 2. Come on now. I got to be precise.
I was going to say, well, if you draw a line between 2 points, then you can say with 100% accuracy that it's exactly right. But there was like an R0 joke in there somewhere, but it's gone. I missed it. So.
And it's gone.
And the moment's passed. So again, y'all, we just saw the pre-burner test. I'm working on bringing up the replay of that so we can show it on the screen here. And we will put that in picture-in-picture. Give me just 1 second, Jack or Michael, if y'all want to take over while I get that brought up here.
Sounds good.
Yeah.
So, again, we're not seeing the normal venting from the top 2 vents like we have when they have started detanking or depressing on previous attempts. It could be there's some test configuration difference. That is the reason for that. Maybe they want to have the vehicle under pressure for longer to do some testing. Maybe, oh, there it is. Okay, so now they are depressing.
There's the top
We will-
vents.
We'll update our procedure to probably detanking. We were expecting them to detank before they do another static fire. It does not mean things could change, but our understanding was that it's going to be a couple of hours between attempts because they have to review the data. So,
Gotcha.
I don't think a rapid turnaround is likely, but we'll see what happens.
Richard Holmquist, thank you so much for the 1999. They say for the team's unflagging ability to stay awake. Thank you so much, Richard. If I click it, it shows up. Okay, good. Thank you, Richard. $20 is a huge amount of money. Like Das always says, crazy, but you are kind. And the Random Tube, welcome to membership. Let's see, can I tell what level you came in? No, I can't. Well, whatever level you came to, thank you for the membership. And Clinton Hunter, thank you for the $5. They say, as far as redundancy goes, will Starship be capable of landing on 1 or 2 Raptors if 1 or 2 were to fail? I mean, I would assume so, given how SpaceX puts an emphasis on that kind of engine out capability with Falcon 9, but I don't know quite the answer to that. Do you guys have anything to input there?
I think the trick would be then you'd have a little bit of off-axis thrust, and so they'd have to accommodate for that. It would end up leaning a little bit whenever it lands. One side would most likely touch down. If you're not expecting it and you have a Raptor fail at the last second, that could be sort of difficult to recover from, but I'm sure SpaceX has run the numbers on that.
For sure. Good question, Clinton. Thank you for the $5. Scott, also $5. They say, y'all think Blue Origin promotes healthy competition, or is it really just generic brand SpaceX? I don't think of Blue Origin as generic brand SpaceX at all.
Oh no.
I think Blue Origin is super cool, and I cannot wait to see them do more. That's really the short of it. Like many space companies, I wish that they had been able to do more by now, and that's kind of the differentiation between them and space. Wasn't Blue Origin founded before SpaceX? So
yeah, I'm not sure.
They were, but they didn't have. Just
Go
quickly, the key distinction is that, I mean, people like to say, well, Blue Origin was founded before SpaceX, but that is true. But Jeff Bezos did not really give them a lot of funding until later.
Yeah.
I think they had, I forget the number, but I think it was like 2007 or 2008 when they actually like started getting proper funding. So it might have even been later than that. But SpaceX had already reached orbit by that point, so
got it.
Or at least around the same time. So they actually started, kicking into gear after SpaceX, or well, SpaceX almost reached orbit or is about to reach orbit.
Yeah, so I definitely am into Blue Origin, and I cannot wait to see them do more. I'm really excited to see the BE-4 engine, and I'm really excited to see oh my god, the names of their rockets. New Shepard is the small one, New Glenn is the bigger one. So yeah, I can't wait to see New Glenn, and hopefully I can see New Shepard do its thing here next time they fly. Trying to run through these. I'm really good at getting sidetracked. Brian, no, thank you for the $10. Well, you guys ask good questions. How can I? Brian, no, thank you for the $10. They say thanks for the coverage. Jared Horaf, thank you for the membership. I can't see what level you're in at. Sorry, but thank you for the membership. Depending on what level you're in, you get all kinds of cool perks. I'm gonna throw a triple Gwen in chat right now because I have member emoji. Nope, it's a quadruple Gwen. Tricked you. Thank you, Dougal, for your continued and repeated support. They say, thanks, y'all. Let's rock this candle. I would say they rocked that candle. We're a little bit behind on super chats, but would you rather us read super chats over the pre-burner test? I think not.
We did like a bit of a moratorium on reading super chats. Yeah.
Bent Straight, thank you for the $5. I'm not going to sing. Tim H, thank you for the new membership. Lunacy Works, thank you for the $2. They say, can a clock be added each stage? Maybe when we're certain enough about the flow, but things change and things are flexible, and we don't want to represent that we know what's going on when we are guessing. So we like to be very clear about that on this. We do not spread unfounded ideas. If we say something, we know it. Or we're guessing and say that we're guessing. So
we can back up while we're guessing.
Yeah, maybe exactly. There's evidence involved. Maybe there's a time we'll do a clock for each stage, but I don't know. That's something we'll think about. Thank you for the support, Lunacy Works.
The word
Natalie,
your friends don't miss it. That was me. Sorry.
Natalie, thank you for the new membership. Nicholas Hall, thank you for the new membership. Wow. Jester coming in with $69. Holy cow.
Nice.
Thank you so much, Jester. $69 is a huge amount of money, and definitely a chuckle there. X33 Archive, thank you for the $10. Countdown to Venture Star. Rough Rider Show, thank you for $2. Blake Parsons, thank you again. Blake Parsons killing it with the $14.99. And just really quick, Jester, I mean, $69. Like, it's a lot of money. It's a lot of money, and I don't know how to properly acknowledge that's a lot of money. Thank you. Seriously, thank you for the support. The data that we push is not small potatoes, and that's not just including the live streams. That's also including the daily videos that we do every single day. And I say we, but really, it's all Mary. Thank you, Mary. Ross Neer, thank you for the $20. You guys are crushing it tonight with the support, and it's super awesome. Thank you. As usual, really. It's a good problem to... Oh, wait. Walkie-talkie. Interesting. Andre Carmel, thank you for the 100 currency units, and thank you for not asking me to sing with that one. No C, thank you for the €5. Jim Please, thank you for the $10. Tia, thank you for the €21.99. Interesting amount. Sometimes I wonder why people pick the amount they do. Thank you so much, Tia, for your support. Why did you go with $20.99? At me in chat, and I'm just curious. And seriously, thank you. Blake with a $38.99. See, that's oddly specific numbers. Thank you, Blake, so much for your repeated support. Time-lapse Steve. Hey, I wonder if time-lapse Steve shoots video. No, shoots time lapses. No
Actual time lapses
here.
or fake lapses?
You know what? I don't want to get into.
I don't want to get into it. Nice.
Time-lapse Steve, thank you for the $20. They say no questions here. Just want to thank you for the coverage and the enthusiasm. Well, thank you, Time-lapse, for the support. And Kevin Musk, you say go buy a coffee or Snickers with this. Psycho 42069, thank you for the 420. Blake Parson with another $22.99 Australian. Thank you so much, Blake. You're a machine. Oh look, you got the picture in picture.
Yeah, I got the picture up there. So that is the Jack. I was making sure it was working while you were reading. I didn't mean to interrupt.
No, you're good. Just a couple more of these. Kevin Musk, thanks for the new membership. And Adam Henley, thank you for the $5 Australian. They say thanks for the hard work. We hope the flame actions was satisfactory to you. The Prop Master with Robert Walker. It's like a TV show or something. Thank you for the $5. They said that was a much bigger fireball than today. I agree. Cliff Ojic, thank you for the €20. They say I just woke up, saw a tweet from NASASpaceflight, opened the link, and saw a pre-burner test. Talk about timing. Keep it up, y'all. Hey, I mean, I was whispering in your ear while you dream. Wake up, wake up, wake up. And you woke up, so it's what we do here. Just creepy things like that. No, seriously, glad you caught it. No worries there. Julian Foreman, thank you for the new membership. NZ Eagle, thank you for the New Zealand 2287. They say, thanks for doing these streams. It's always nice to watch before bed. Mark, thank you for the 1415. Say, have a piece of pie. Oh, I see what you did there. And Space Pony, oh my god, so many of these. What a good problem to have. I swear we're going to talk about the rocket here. Space Pony, thank you for the $6.90. Space United, thank you for the $10. They say, in the spirit of wishing well, space exploration companies, here's $10 from Space United. Thanks, Space United.
Hey, Space United.
That's super cool of you. Andre Carmel, thank you for the another 100 currency units. Reese Witt, thank you for the $4.99. They say, if you listen to the audio, there are 2 distinct bursts, only one during last night's test. They could go for all 3 burners later. Well, last night we think that there was 2. Maybe only 1 started. I don't know. But yeah, interesting observation. Reese with the $5. Thank you. Thank you for the currency units. Joshy, thank you for the $49.99 for Bent Straight. What?
$9.99. There's a Capcom that just came in too. Jeez.
All right, y'all. I think that's enough for now. And obviously, that's not to say I don't super support or super appreciate. Oh my God, Eric, $49.99. I second Blake. Thanks, guys. Keep it up. You guys are awesome. Thank you so much. Let's talk about this replay for a little bit, and we'll come back to your awesome super chats in a few minutes. Thank you so much, buddy. And NZ Eagle, Capcom. Oh my gosh. Okay. Almost broken. Yeah. You guys almost broke me. Close. Yeah. Das, talk about this rocket fire.
Oh, so I'm just I'm rolling the replay there. That's quarter speed, and you can tell right when it's going to happen because you get that big plume coming out of the side. I'll make it larger on the screen here in just a second. But look at that plume come way off to the right-hand side. You see that? That happens.
I love how that looks. Such a cool, I'm ready to go.
Yeah, so you get this big ball of fire. Again, it's all fire. There's no dust. You don't see any dust getting kicked up there. So that is something igniting coming out of the bottom. That is not thrust being generated, right? You're not really impacting the ground at all. And then afterwards, look at this. There's a little bit of orange light in there. It looks like Raptor might have set itself on fire or something in the ground, the GSE, something underneath. you can see that there's a little bit of an orange tint that lingers a little while. It may just be the engine sort of flaming out, like dripping and flaming out or something like that. But it looks like it extinguished pretty quickly, and that did not seem to persist. It did. The orange glow, I'm just looking right in this area, and the orange glow did go away. So we can, let's put that, do y'all think it's okay to put that full screen right now?
Yeah, do a little swippy swappy. And,
All right,
put
let's
the
do a little
put,
swippy
put
swappy
live
here.
in the pip, and we'll watch the replay full screen.
Yeah, on it.
Thank you, sir. DOS steampunk levers and large machinery crunching in the background, groaning. The groaning
Look.
of the massive behemoth.
Super professional stream here. Hang on, I'm just gonna move this over this way. There you go. Nobody will even know that I moved it. There, just like the news. So that's the live picture in the upper left-hand corner, and then this is the replay. And I'm just playing back the replay in super slow motion right now, sort of almost frame by frame. And there you get the big spray, I guess, out of the one vent, and then you get the pre-burn, and it's just chunking along. That's cool.
Fire good.
I'm trying to see. That's not frame by frame. I know I can do frame by frame here. Ah, that's replay speed.
Can you see like 3 distinct parts that are brighter right there? It's really hard to tell. It could just be the way the fire is going, but
It may be because you have the structure down there, the 6x symmetry structure of those steel girders.
oh yeah,
that
the
it's on.
poles. That's what it is, you're right. Good
Yeah,
point.
that
Yeah.
may very well have something to do with it, you know?
Oh yeah, you're right. It's exactly where it is. Good point.
Yeah, let me just go forward and backwards a bit. Yeah, it looks like those darker areas sort of line up with the poles.
Yep, I agree.
Yeah. I love this vent right here. Like this, let me see, do I have this online? Yeah. This right here is such a good, like you can tell that that's going to happen because you get that one. I wonder why it's such a high pressure vent that comes out right before it fires.
To me, and this is just me completely freaking guessing, I do not know rocket. I just watched Dodd's Raptor engine breakdown and other stuff on YouTube about rocket. So that's my level of expertise. But I've seen people speculate that those 3 vents are for Raptor chill, and clearly liquid oxygen is what's coming out of them. And it would make sense that if you need to vent a cryogenic liquid that you have on board the vehicle in order to chill down the engine before firing, you would not do that with methane. You would do that with liquid oxygen, far safer. So perhaps that high pressure vent there right before ignition is indicative of a pre-burner bin up of some kind. Maybe that's the LOX pre-burn spinning up. Maybe it's, I don't know, something else. But in full flow staged combustion, right, all of the propellant flows through the turbo pump. So I don't know if that has anything to do with it, but to me, it just looks like engine starting up. So for whatever reason, some component of the engine that is lower pressure before startup goes high pressure right at startup. And maybe that's a turbo pump thing, maybe not. But that's my rampant speculation.
There we go. That's super slow speed.
Yeah, it's impossible to tell if there are 3 Raptors or not from like a visual thing, but
Yeah.
it definitely looks like more fire than the previous day.
Can we go right before startup and right around that vent? I haven't been looking at the bottom of the vehicle. Are we able to see like any of the Raptor barfing, kind of like, you know, the vapor coming out before ignition?
I couldn't
Or was
see
it
any,
obscured by?
that liquid oxygen tank venting on the right is kind of falling right under the vehicle.
Yeah, that's.
Yeah.
All right, I'm looking. I don't see any downward jetting right now.
There's not anything obvious that comes down
Yeah.
out of that. Yeah.
Yeah, that's really tricky. I think it's just a, you know, different conditions tonight versus last night, and it's a little bit harder to see what's going on down there.
Yeah, from this angle at this exposure, it is sort of hard to see the details in there because it just goes from dark to fireball all of a sudden, right?
Yeah,
let's see.
there's no like intermediate step, at least from our
Yeah.
perspective. with the amount of condensation around that area.
Yeah, this wasn't a static fire, so it doesn't really make any sense to try and calculate frame by frame how long it lasted because it's just a fireball. The question is basically how long did it take the fireball to subside, not how long did the engines turn on. Like if it was a static fire, we could say, oh look at that, it fired for this long, yada yada yada. But we can't really do that here because this is just it's just the preburner. Very cool. Anything else that I can step through there in slow motion mode?
I don't think so.
All right. So we'll go back to the full live thing there. Bring that down like that. So again, if you're just joining us, you're wondering what's going on, we just saw what seemed to be, from our perspective, a successful pre-burner test. The vehicle is still there. There was fire, and the vehicle is still there. So from what we can see, that's a success. But does all the telemetry work out? Does all of these sensors and everything that they track with these tests, did that data come back correctly? Only SpaceX is going to know that, and we may know it if Elon tweets it. I'm sure there will be a lot of Twitter Denzians out there. Elon can't sneeze without 80 people asking him a question. 80 is a bit low, actually. 800 or 8,000 is probably more like it. But we'll see if Elon does any information, gives us any information on his favorite channel to release official test information. Twitter. It's where we get most of it, right? But do we think they detanked the whole thing? I mean, we saw some venting from the top, but it didn't seem very prolonged.
No, it definitely seems like they're in a kind of a hold, similar to how they were last night. They definitely didn't do a full depressurization of the vehicle. They might have detanked it. It's not looking very condensate-y, but yeah, no sustained double vent with like what we would normally call a depressurization.
Yeah.
So
I think they let a lot of the propellant out before they fully depress it.
Right.
Okay. We have an insane number of super chats, and it's wild. The level of support from you guys. It's seriously absolutely wild.
Give me a second here because I've been neglecting everybody over on Twitch really quickly. Let me hit Twitch real quick. Wood LaFrag, how you doing for 44 months over there? Appreciate you. Let me see who else we got here. I'm scrolling trying to find it. Windy Skunk came through at tier 3 for 61 months. I've been streaming for a long time. Windy Skunk has been around for most of it. So thank you so much for the support there, Windy Skunk. And then Iron Catastrophe. I've actually sat down and eaten a pizza with Iron Catastrophe before. Iron Catastrophe in there for 58 months. Iron, good to see you around. Thank you so much for the continued support. So y'all, I know I'm not always over there on Twitch constantly reading things, but I do appreciate you. I do not forget about you. I'm able to do this stuff because y'all have supported me for, 68 months. It's 70 months, I think, is the high score now. So I appreciate everybody over on the Twitch side. And then in terms of super chats, Jack, you want to take it away?
Yeah, sure. And just really quickly, on behalf of everybody on the YouTube side and everybody at NASASpaceflight, thank you everybody on the Twitch side, because Das has always talked about how you guys kind of helped him come up and figure all this stuff out and supported him before we had this kind of arrangement that we have now. So thank you everybody on Twitch for doing what you do to support Das. It's awesome. Thank you, Das, for everything
Absolutely,
you do.
Y'all. I have fun.
Yeah, come on now, but seriously, thanks. Starhopper, thank you for the 420. Blake Parsons, thank you for the $14.99. They say gonna end up broke, but oh well. Oh come on, Blake. Now you're gonna make me feel bad because you just did a $79.99 super chat. Or $79.99 super chat. Oh my gosh, Brett, that's so much, Blake. Blake, what are you doing? Go broke on. Please, please, please. But also, super thank you for the support. Trust me, if you don't have the money to support, other people do, and that's kind of the fun teamwork effort kind of thing that we have going on here, and why it's so cool that when people support us, they do, because a lot of people don't have the money to do it. So please, Blake, don't feel like you have to. But holy cow, Blake! I mean, I don't even because it's every night, it's every time we stream, and it's every night, and it's ridiculous amounts. So thank you, Blake. Thank you, Jester. Thank you for the 420. Base Boy, thank you. 1337, that's elite. Laz13, thank you for the $5. They say they tried. Think if they give it a bit more thrust, they might get off the ground. Well, they weren't trying to fly. I'm assuming you're joking. But thank you for the $5. Mayan McCann, thank you for the 169. Clarence, thank you for the 6969. They say sorry to interrupt. Let me tell you, Clarence, it was really hard to or Clarence T. It was really hard to not just scream out while we were looking at the replay. Oh my God! 69! But it took all of my strength, and I succeeded. For that, I apologize. You did not interrupt, but know that it is super appreciated. $70. I don't even know, what can you get for $70? An insane meal of sushi, some kind of electronic gadget. Now I sound like an old person.
18 gigabytes of data on AT&T prepaid.
There you go. So seriously, thank you so much. 18 gigabytes of data. Why? That sounds like about a day of data for us.
Well,
Not a non-stream day.
We do 3.3 or 3.6 gigs of data while we're live, and then we do some amount of data every day that we upload, but mostly for the live streaming there, Jack, is what we deal mostly with.
And then Andre Carmel, thank you for the 100 currency units, and Costas, thank you for the 231, and Connor, thank you for the 499. Super awesome of all of you. I mean, I don't, yeah, bleep bloop. I made up the word bleep bloop the other night because it's more than thank you, and it's not sufficient because bleep bloop just sounds ridiculous and stupid. But yeah, I don't know. I'm working on it. I'm working on it on creating a word that is more than thank you, because thank you feels garbage compared to how I feel about everybody's support. Thank you, everybody. Even though it's a garbage word compared to how I feel, that's all I've got. Much. And Andy, thank you. Welcome to PadRat, new membership.
I'm actually it looks like the wind is picking up a little bit out there, so now that we've got the excitement, I'm gonna bring that ambient audio down just a bit because we're getting a little bit of wind gusting there. But again, y'all, that's the SN8 out there. We just saw a successful pre-burner test. I could actually do this. I don't know how y'all feel about this, but over on Twitch, we've got a clip if you want to play it back yourself, and I will post up that clip here. There you go. Livico, if you missed it, there is a clip over to my Twitch channel, and that's just like the 30 seconds where it happened itself. We'll get the full edit. We'll get the raw video, the 60 FPS right off the camera at full bit rate, right, Jack? And we'll do some slow motions and stuff like that, the edits that you normally do, right? But really quickly.
Yep, sure enough.
Yeah, there is a link to that Twitch clip if you want to play that back yourself and fast forward and rewind and play it at quarter speed or whatever you want to do.
Hey, that's really nice.
Did you get it? Did you?
Yeah, I clicked the link. I'm looking at it now. That's a nice little job you did there.
Yeah.
I like having it, a nice little bite-sized version of it ready to go real quick. Call.
Yeah, it's just the like Twitch makes it super simple to just click a button in the live stream and it brings up a little edit interface and you can trim it to where you want it and that sort of stuff. Then you hit save, it gives you social links and stuff. So
yeah, and there's a button right here that says watch full video too. So it's,
yep.
Yeah, way to go, Twitch, doing it right.
Kicks back over to the VOD and then it has chat recorded, like all that sort of stuff. Twitch has been live streaming for quite some time, so I do appreciate some of their features. So we have no clue what's going to happen next. I mean, we saw a little bit of venting from the top. We're still getting the tri-vents going right now. I think we could call those the tri-vents, right?
Yeah. Right now, I was just going back to yesterday's stream to see how long it took them to get to a point where the tri-vent was no longer active. But, I mean, even if the pre-burner had an issue, they could recycle for another pre-burner. So lots of options.
So we're sort of in limbo here because we've never seen them go from doing a pre-burner straight to a 3-Raptor static fire because that has never happened before. So we don't really have any past experience to work by here. We don't know if they detanked the whole thing. Was that too short? Do we just think they didn't really have much in there? So that's all that they needed to do? Do you think they're
So
actually fully detanking?
the second attempt yesterday had what we think was a rapid detanking of the liquid oxygen tank. We even saw like frost forming at the top, super strange. And the venting from the liquid oxygen tank stopped pretty quickly after the pre-burner test. We didn't see that happen today, obviously, so I don't know if it's like a slower detanking that's happening right now or if they are kind of in an intermittent phase where they might recycle from. I'm not really sure. But when they did do the recycle yesterday, they did get to the point where the liquid oxygen tank was no longer venting, but they did not do the full depress with the upper vents. So we'll see what happens from here.
Got a couple of video hiccups there, but everything looks normal. Interesting.
A27, if Joshy, I think I just called you Joshy. I was reading out the super chats. Sorry if I missed. Well, I didn't miss it. I remember reading it, but sorry if you didn't catch me saying that. My cat just hacked the window.
Wait, what?
Anyways,
Your
sorry
cat
if
hacked the window?
She just jumped at the window. I don't. Anyways,
Interesting.
A27, thank you for the super chat. Sorry, we didn't catch us reading it out. And I'm trying to go back and look, but I can't see what it was for. But either way, thank you so much, buddy, for the support. All right, I'm gonna go see what my. Be right back.
Yeah, it was like 45 minutes of liquid oxygen tank venting on the first attempt yesterday, following the aborted test. So we'll see what happens this time.
Yeah, I'm going to stand up real quick and go get myself a refill on my drink here. So I'll be off the mic for just a couple minutes. I
Sounds
shall
good.
return.
A couple of super chats. For 85 CA, $1. Thank you so much for the super chat. Andre, once again, if only YouTube didn't have limits. Last one tonight. Chris, you have to unleash me. Well, thank you, Andre, for hitting the limit. Don't know how you managed to do that, but we really appreciate your support. So, thanks for tuning in. And then Vaguely Sober, thank you for the $5. Mike and Marilyn Warren, Oh, I need to have a question. Sorry, I missed your question. Where's Mary's watermark? So for the live stream overlay, we have to fit the text in the ticker as well. So we don't have like space for the larger watermarks. We use the smaller version, but obviously I'll put Mary's name on the screen now. Obviously, this footage tonight is provided by Mary, who is the one out in the field. So thank you so much, Mary. Mike and Marilyn Warren, give Mary tomorrow off. Well, I can guarantee you that if we had the option, we would give Mary tomorrow off. The question is SpaceX going to give Mary tomorrow off? Because if SpaceX is out there doing activity, I guarantee you that Mary will be out there filming it. So,
Yeah, I guess I would phrase that a little bit differently. It's Mary has to give Mary the day off. She is her own boss. We do not tell her what to do. We merely adapt our workflow to what she wants to do. So
I mean, we've tried to tell her that she can take a day off before, and she just keeps filming. So unless like SpaceX, I think unless Elon like tells everyone at Boca Chica to take a day off, Mary will still be out there.
I think even then she'd probably do like one of the drive past videos.
Yeah.
She's a machine, and that's why we always say thank you, Mary, and repeatedly stress thank you, Mary. There's a reason.
Rosmus, thank you for the membership. David with a membership. Jade with a membership. Rasmus with an upgraded membership. Let me see what tiers those were. Upgraded to Red Team. Thank you so much.
Everyone
David,
else was Pad Rat.
David was Red Team too.
Oh, you're right. Thanks so much, members.
And then finally, one final super chat from them in daily, they're gonna fill you up, they're gonna hold you down, they're gonna turn around and retest you. I did not sing that. Jack, if you want to sing it, you can, but
Yeah, no. I do
Nope.
love a good Rickroll, though. I am not. The chat is just like, sing! I am not your dance.
I mean, yesterday you sung unprovoked.
Yeah, well, I chose to. And it was like 5 a.m. and I was staring at the triangle vent for hours.
But I was going back, and I think it was about 45 minutes from when the abort happened yesterday to when the triangle event stopped. So that's quite a while. I'm just going back now. And see, the difference today was that the first depressed vent we saw came a bit later. So I'm wondering if I should measure the time from the depressed vent, which was 31 minutes ago, or measure the time from the pre-burner test, which was about 35 minutes ago. But anyway, probably about 5 or 10 more minutes of the triangle vent until it stops, if this test sequence goes like it did during the first attempt yesterday. Again, I'm going by the first attempt yesterday because I think the second attempt yesterday had a rapid detanking procedure that we did not see today. So I'm guessing it's probably going to be the slower detanking sequence right now. Ian says, what is the small vent at the very top for? Like the one that fires during a detank. It seems to be on the liquid methane tank, but they don't vent methane, right? Well, they are able to drain the liquid methane back out and put it through the recondenser and recondense it back into liquid methane. So they can recycle that methane. But my understanding is there's no real way for them to get the gaseous methane out of the tank without just venting it out. So I think that's what we see. I think it is a little bit of methane, even though you're generally not supposed to vent large amounts of methane, but I think it's small enough that they can get away with it. They maybe like have a deal with the EPA where they, pay some fines to make up with it. I'm not exactly sure, but I do believe there is a little bit of methane being vented from the top vent when we see that happen. At least that's what I've been told. I don't know if that's accurate or not. Again, if you have a question in chat, just tag on NASASpaceflight and we will continue to work through them.
Here's a good one, Patrick.
Oh, go
for it.
I was gonna say, question from Justin. Seems like they're keeping the engines cold, still some fuel in the tanks. Yeah, we are seeing lots of venting from the tank farm, and it seems to be mostly coming from the methane recondenser. So I'm thinking most of that venting we're seeing from the tank farm is from that methane draining process that's probably going on right now. Go for it, Jack.
Here's a good one from Patrick Lambert saying, can someone explain how the methane recondenser works? Thank you for all your hard work to make these live streams possible. Thank you for the question, Patrick. Methane recondenser, obviously I don't have super good insight into the layout of the tank farm and how they do everything, but basically it would stand to reason that they use sort of a heat exchanger type setup, and they use liquid nitrogen to pass the methane gas over fold, which would then condense it as it interacts with liquid nitrogen in a separate loop that's like right up next to it and pulls the heat out of it, blah, blah, blah. That's my hand wavy explanation of how the methane recondenses. Pretty sure it uses liquid nitrogen and a heat exchanger to recondense that methane. Would you have anything to add to that, Michael?
Yeah, I would just say I think that venting we're seeing coming from the recondenser, if I understand it correctly, that is some of the nitrogen that's being boiled off in the recondensing process. So
Got
That's
it.
not,
Yeah, that makes sense.
That's not methane that's being released from the recondenser. It is nitrogen.
Got it. Dylan asking, what is the next anticipated height goal after the 15-kilometer hops have been performed successfully enough time? I don't think we know. It changes a lot, right? But I don't know. What do you think, Michael?
I don't even know if SpaceX knows, to be honest. They might have like a current plan, but it's probably going to be modified depending on the data they receive. But I think Elon said high Mach flights, so however high it takes them to come in pretty hot.
Awesome. High Mach flights sounds so cool.
It does look like the liquid oxygen vents are petering out right now.
Yep.
Still seeing a
Sure
little
enough.
bit, but the intensity is decreasing, which does seem to follow that timeline we saw on the first attempt yesterday, about 45 minutes after the detanking process started. The venting pretty much died out. Andrew for super chat. How about the word you can see in the bottom of your screen for big amounts? Jack, how big of a super chat does somebody have to give for you to try to read that word?
Oh, it's Wubba Lubba Dub Dub. That's a Rick and Morty joke.
I don't watch Rick and
Wubba
Morty, I'm sorry, and I'm tired.
What did I
But
come
Wubba
back
Lubba
to?
Dub Dub. Wubba Lubba Dub Dub means like my soul is hurting or something like that, right? So I don't think we would want to use that for a happy. But good suggestion, Drew, and thank you for the $2. You should watch Rick and Morty. I know Rick and Morty fans are sufferable, but in general, the show's really good.
Okay, so go ahead. I was gonna say we're seeing the liquid oxygen tank vent pretty much petered out now on the front and right side. Still some coming from the left, a little bit from the right there, but I think we're minutes away from the liquid oxygen tank vent stopping.
I don't know why, but I love those three vents so much. I really do. It's just such a cool addition to these vehicles. Maybe I just like it because it's new. I don't know, but it's just something about them. It makes the flight or the imminent flight or activity of Starship serial number 8 that much more real for whatever reason.
So once this detanking process is finished, we'll see the depressing probably with the upper vents. And then the question is what happens after that. If everything went absolutely perfectly, they may not even have to return to the pad. They may just start another testing sequence, go for static fire. If there were like some minor issues and tweaks they need to make, we could see crews return to the pad for a bit. If they've decided they're done for today, we could see the road reopened. So a couple of different options. We're not sure if they're going to recycle straight away or have crews go back to the pad. So we will stay live and watch what happens here. As long as there's a chance of a static fire, I don't think we're going to go anywhere. We do not want to miss the first ever multi-engine firing of Raptor engines. So until there's like a definitive sign that they're done testing for tonight, I think we will stay live. And we actually almost got caught out yesterday. We thought they were done for sure. Then right as we had all agreed to sign off, the recondenser started up. So I think we'll be careful tonight about staying alive until the testing is definitively over, even though it's super late for us. But so far I'm feeling okay. I don't know about you, Jack and Doss.
No, I'm good to go this evening. Y'all held it down last night, so I planned my entire day around supporting the stream as long as it needs to go this evening. Got to pull my weight.
My plan this evening was to stay up for the pre-burner test, and hopefully the pre-burner test would be just early enough so I could get some sleep, but just late enough so that I could go to bed with like resting assured that I was going to miss static fire. But I think it happened slightly too early. There's still a chance for static fire.
Yeah, I know.
So I don't think I can go to bed because I cannot miss the static fire. That's like not an option.
That's what I was thinking. I was like, it went at 121, 122, whatever, and it's like right on the borderline where they could turn it around and try a static fire, hopefully, but maybe not. Who knows? If there were only like 2 hours left, I'd say, nah, they're not going to do a static fire. Get all the way back and then do a static fire in 2 hours. That's not going to happen. But 4 hours and 40 minutes is, ugh.
It's definitely possible. And we
Yeah.
saw yesterday they did the pre-burner like right at 6. It may have been didn't even like a few minutes after the window closed, but I mean they could go slightly over the window if they had to. So there's still plenty of time to do a static fire if the data is perfect. But the biggest if is if the data is perfect.
I'm testing something with the replay real quick. So.
But the timelines we did understand were a couple of hours of turnaround to review the data, we think. So, you know, if you say like 2 hours, 2 to 4 hours maybe for a recycle, plus an hour for the countdown sequence, you're looking at 3 to 5 hours needed to do the static fire. And you've still got about 4 hours remaining in the window. So it is within the realm of possibility.
But right now, it's definitely looking like it's spooling down. Like you said, it's sort of petering out. Those tri-vents, the triple vents are just... There's not a lot coming out of them anymore. There is still a little bit of vapor coming from the bottom of SN8. You can see some vapor sort of condensating, cascading down from the bottom. But not a lot of activity otherwise. Definitely sort of chilling out.
Yeah, on the previous test, that condensation from the bottom kept going for a while after the liquid oxygen tanks just stopped venting. I guess it just might stay really cold down there for a while.
Yeah.
But the next thing we should see are the top 2 vents opening up to release any of the boiled off gas. And yesterday they kind of did it slowly. There'd be like a minute of venting and they would stop for a while. It wasn't like they just opened them up until it was completely depressed. We'll see what happens. I do kind of wonder if they're trying to depress it more gradually now. There might be like something where if they do it too quickly, it causes denting. That's complete speculation, but it did seem like they've taken it easy the past couple of tests.
Yeah, and it's sort of hard for us to see the dents tonight because the rear flaps are sort of blocking some of the spotlights.
Have we even seen dents on this vehicle?
I don't know.
I don't think I have. I think they've improved the welds pretty substantially.
Interesting.
Yeah, we were talking about that a little bit last night. We no longer have the dent as an indicator of vehicle state, but instead we gained the triangle vent. I'll take it.
We gained the triangle vent. Nice.
And obviously, part of this vehicle is 304L stainless steel, so I'm not sure if that stainless steel switch could be helping with the dents or just weld quality, but they definitely are increasingly getting better build quality out of these Starships. And Elon has said on Twitter it's going to get a lot better fast. So if you think about what Mark 1 looked like and compare it to where they are a year later, they are definitely starting to... It still doesn't look like an orbital class spacecraft yet, but it is trending in the right direction.
It's getting there.
I mean,
Michael,
I would say it's like halfway there.
Michael's trending in the right direction is DOS's ground.
Nice.
I don't know what my phrase of choice is, but clearly I probably have one. I don't even know it. Please don't tell me what it is. You know, because then I'll hyper-conscious.
I think your phrase is "I'm broken."
I really said that much though.
You do say that quite a bit, yeah, actually.
All right, fair. All right, I'm gonna make a taco. It's the time of the night where I go make food and talk about food. So I'm gonna mute myself and go do that. You guys have fun.
Nice. Yeah, that playback's still not completely smooth. I'm wondering if there's like a frame rate mismatch or something that's sort of... I was trying to make the playback a little bit more smooth by changing some settings, but it's not terrible. It's still just a little chunky, you know. Let me try and
Is that
slow
1080 or 720p on the...
This is 1080.
No,
look at the
preview.
Look at
that you're
live right
sending
now.
through.
Is the vehicle depressing?
Oh,
Oh yeah,
it is.
look. Yep, it's depressing.
All right, bye.
All right, bye. Yeah, so the actual vehicle there looks like both the tanks, the top methane tank and the oxygen tank, are both completely depressurizing now. Those two vents are coming straight at the camera. They look like they're just little puffs, but that is a huge plume of venting from the top and bottom tanks coming straight at the camera. Even, the wind is blowing, right? There's a pretty significant breeze out there tonight, and the pressure coming out of there is so much that it's not even blowing it to the side very much. It's coming straight at the camera.
Mark, to be clear, this is not a scrub yet. This was a good test, we think, from what we could tell. We haven't seen the data, so there could have been like a minor thing that went wrong. But from all we could tell, it was a good test, and our understanding is, if everything went perfectly, there's a chance it could recycle for a static fire. So testing, from what we know, there could still be another round of testing. We're gonna have to wait and see if the road reopens or not after this depressing is done, but it is too early to say if they are done for tonight yet.
About how long from the time that they depress to the time that they open the road? Like, how long do we normally see them wait? Do we know?
I was really hoping you were not going to ask that question, Doss, because two testing days ago, it was like 90 minutes.
Oh, wow.
But I'm really hoping it's not going to be that long today. I mean, like we said, 2 to 4 hours was what we thought the turnaround time would be, so 90 minutes to safe the pad, have them go back for 30 minutes to an hour, that's like in the range, so we'll see what happens, but...
Yeah, again, y'all, we're just, we don't have the exact schedule here. We did see the pre-burner test. We saw those pre-burners fire up, and we don't know, is it successful, is it not successful? That's not something that we can visually see, but the vehicle's still there, and we saw a ball of fire, so those are two good indications for us from our perspective. But we are standing by to see if they are going to try to get another test in here. I mean, it's SpaceX's ball game. They can do whatever they want. It could be that they try another pre-burner test. If there was some problem with this one and they don't need to physically go to the pad to fix something, they could recycle and try to do another pre-burner test. We may see them open the road and go out to the pad and inspect things. It's also possible that they could recycle this and then go for a static fire. I'm not exactly sure what they're going to do. I think probably anything's possible, but depending on how it went. But right now, things definitely spooling down a little bit, and we will see what their next move is. Are they going to open up that roadblock, go out there and inspect things? Are they going to continue standing by? Are they going to what are they going to try? We don't know.
Yeah, and we did see that those vents shut off again before they had petered out, so still some pressure in Starship SN8. The Fireball Free, thank you for the $5. Thanks for the coverage as always. Do you all think the establishment of a lunar fuel depot of a Martian colony will be more important to the human story? I guess I mean lunar fuel depot or a Martian colony in terms of importance. What do you think, Josh?
Lunar Fuel Depot is more important than Mars, honestly. I'll say it right now. It's closer. It's going to give us places to live and work in space right here in our own backyard and start moving things like manufacturing and resource gathering into space. So I think we have a lot more to gain from the moon than we do from Mars right now. Mars is amazing. Mars is awesome. I want to see stuff on Mars, but there will be, I'm going to guess there's going to be a significant number of people living and working in cislunar space and on the surface of the moon before we have any appreciable presence on Mars.
I would
Does that sound,
that. Yeah.
you know, I don't want to be a Debbie Downer or anything,
Well,
but
I would say the process of establishing a fuel depot on the moon will be useful for establishing a permanent presence on Mars.
yes, I agree with that 100%.
And we are continuing to see more venting from Starship SN8 off and on. As usual, we are seeing the tanks a little bit condensatey due to the venting. Again, that's due to the venting, kind of like if you open a can of like compressed gas, it gets cold when you spray it. So that is not a sign that they are doing propellant loading yet, but that's just from the venting.
And Michael, I preemptively turned you down so when you talk, you're not at 3,000% volume. So whenever you're ready to test the level, let me know.
Okay, let's find out if I'm blasting everybody's ears or not.
Talk a little bit more. I think that's pretty close.
Okay, I can even go higher if I need to.
No, I think if you backed it down about 10%, you're right where you need to be. Just a hair.
Okay, how about now? Is that better?
Back it down a little bit more.
Do all the 5,000 of you watching appreciate the audio testing live on stream?
I mean, what else? Chat, does that sound better? We were working with Michael's mic. We were working with Michael's mic there, and I think now we've got it popped back around to the right level. He was moving his mic and then changing his level, so I turned him way up because he got quieter, and then before he adjusted the volume on his end, I backed him way off so he wouldn't come in at 3,000% volume. So we're trying to look out for your ears. I think we're good now, Michael. Thank you for that.
So I heard we have an accent in the channel. Is that true?
Did he join in? Did somebody let that guy in?
Yeah, I was like, can I talk for a bit?
What is up, Mr. Chris Bergen? How are you doing?
How are we all doing? Yeah, good morning from the UK. But yeah, it's all wait and see time again, isn't it? We're waiting to see if they will recycle this. We do think what we're looking at right now with the venting is the detanking process, but I don't know. It's the hope that kills you. I just kind of really like, hope that we know Elon's dead. So we're kind of hoping that there's a chance Elon's saying, yeah, that pre-burner looked good. Fire it up, see what happens.
Fire it up.
The problem is, though, if they do that, there's still the high chance that they'll abort it because it's a static fire test for the first time ever with 3 Raptors. They don't even do this in McGregor. This is the first time ever anywhere that 3 Raptors have been fired up together. The pre-burner was technically history. They've not done that before, ever. So that was a first. The question is, if they go for a static fire test, you can still have that T-0 abort or a short firing where it's not being successful or something bad happen. These things are risks. That's why they're doing test vehicles. So I am just keeping an eye on it and just seeing because they've got several hours of the window left. I'm just seeing if they're going to recycle. If they recycle, there's a good chance they're going for the static fire test.
I think it's going to come down to whether or not they reopen the road. Do you think there's a possibility if they reopen the road and people go out to the pad, do you think that means they may try the static fire? Or do you think that if they go out to the pad, that's a pretty good indication they're not going to get that far?
I always deem the road reopening and the party disco cars heading, as you call them, heading down the road as a sign of that they've been done for the day or done for the evening even. I was just watching some venting coming from the aft there, actually.
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah, but if we see the road open and the cars go to the pad, I think, especially with just several hours left, a couple of hours left of the window, I think that'll be it for the night. I think they do appreciate the fact that these long windows just allow them the opportunity to get some tests in, rather than saying, right, we've got this window, we'll go to the end regardless, and keep going till the end. They'll have a cut-off point saying, okay, we've done everything we can tonight. Let's reopen the road and we'll see what happens from there. But I think tonight's been good so far because that pre-burner looked a lot different from last night's test. It looked like all three engines. It looked like it was a long, proper pre-burner test. I think if Elon does tweet, he's not tweeted anything for a long while now, but if he does tweet, he could give us a clue that the pre-burner was done, and that's a successful path along this test path for SN8. But yeah, I think he might wait until the static fire is complete before he tweets something, because he knows he has a lot of people following him that will be looking for milestones rather than sort of like test objectives.
Yeah.
Are we getting? Is that some condensation on the top tanks there? What do we think
Yeah,
we're
this is
seeing on
some
the top?
venting, I think.
Yeah, that's from the venting. And remember, the vehicle will stay very cold for a long time. If you're looking at this, you can't say, "Oh yeah, it's got something in it," or "It doesn't." Look at this. That vehicle is going to stay cold for quite some time. So that is something that you can see here. But right now, not a lot of activity out there. There is not a lot of venting from the tank farm. I don't see the recondenser online. Most of the venting has stopped. I mean, we got a little bit coming out of the bottom. So maybe a little bit of liquid oxygen in the bottom of that dome that's up under the skirt there, the bottom LOX dome, but not seeing very much activity at all right now.
Yeah, and I think there's a chance we could see them return to the pad and still static fire, given that it takes about an hour for them to do the countdown sequence and what we've timed so far.
Yeah.
So, I mean, that gives them they could go back to the pad for an hour and still have enough time, but...
So basically, if the pad's not clear by 5 a.m., probably unlikely, but they could be out at the pad all the way up to 5 a.m., perhaps.
Yeah, I think if the roadblock goes down, that'll be the sign that they're done.
Yeah.
That's usually what Mary uses, so...
As the indication?
Yeah. But...
I think that's the main consideration for these roadblocks, is that Mary can get off, because it's a long night for everybody. But when you're out there, the person with the camera literally providing these amazing views, and it is such an amazing picture. I've mentioned it before in the back channels, but to mention it in public, it really is a stunning view, because it's quite a distance away as well. So it's a lot of people get caught out. Yeah, they keep thinking she's like 500 meters away from it.
Chris, the recondenser, we just saw some venting from it.
Yeah, there were some puffs from the recondenser behind the three tanks.
I mean, I don't want to speak too soon, but this is exactly what happened. This is like exactly what happened yesterday when they recycled. They did not fully depress Starship SN8. They did some venting from the top. They did not fully depress it, and then the recondenser started up again. So I don't want to speak too soon, but I would just say keep an eye on that recondenser.
I'm just gonna put a tweet out saying Michael Baylor says they're definitely going to test again. Just clip record what you just said.
Michael Baylor confirms.
Yeah, Michael Baylor confirms.
Speaking officially on behalf of SpaceX. Wait, what?
Yeah. That might get Elon tweeting. Who's this guy?
Who's this guy?
But no, seriously, I've got to finish this because it's so important that how much people do appreciate Mary, but it's just long days and nights continually with this now, and like we don't say, Mary, can you do that? Mary, can you do this? Mary does it anyway. We've got no control over that. But that's just a testament to her. So, but then to get the quality of the image as well. I mean, that's what strikes me, is it does look like you just sat on the edge of the pad perimeter with this view. And you can't really imagine what it'd be like without this. There'd be some ways of watching it, but it wouldn't be anything like this. So it's just a real bonus, because I've said it before and I'll say it again. This is history. This is literally history of a vehicle that is most likely to be the vehicle that will take humans to Mars, that will literally carry the human race to Mars. This is what we're watching now. People in 10 years' time will look back on these videos and they'll get to see how it was all started. And we've got some venting going on now.
Yeah.
Yeah, reset our timeline. I don't know for sure it's going to be a recycle, but the recondenser is on again. So that's the status we're back to.
Yep.
That's exciting.
And I also put preburner / static fire in our timeline because if it happens again, we have no way of knowing what they're going for
What
unless
they're gonna do.
Elon tweets or something, because it could be a redo of the preburner if something went wrong,
Yeah.
or it could be the static fire if everything was perfect. But that recondenser, we keep saying it is. And what I should mention, when we say the recondenser is on, we're looking for the white plume coming out
Right there.
behind right there behind the 3 black water tanks.
Yeah.
So, if this is a recycle, we'll know for sure. If we see the tank farm, the rest of the tank farm will come to life in a few minutes.
Yep.
If this was a recycle.
But again, we don't know for sure. We just observe the activity that we can see and sort of make our guesses based on what we've seen in the past. So also, there's a lot of common sense in there as well. Like we know that if this shuts down or the roadblock's open, if there's cars out on the pad's not clear, they're not going to do the siren right away or
Bent
whatever,
straight.
right?
Wow, sorry,
Yeah.
$50 and bent straight again.
Again?
Say.
Oh, you know what? It's amazing when people put any money in, like $2 or whatever. It's just because, I know from my own experience, you know, when I've been on like live streams of different things, it's like it's a big thing to put money in, regardless of what it is. But these people are putting in big amounts, and then you get likes of Brent and you got likes of Andre, who just do it all the time, and you're thinking, what? It's crazy, but it is literally, as I said before, it's what allows us to do this. We could not self-fund this. No way. It just wouldn't be viable at all. So, you know, it really does allow for this to happen.
Chris, I put that link in the back channel.
Oh,
for
thanks,
you.
yeah.
Yeah, no worries.
I mean, the longer this goes on, the more promising it looks.
Yeah, I mean, the recondenser is definitely going right now. Or the venting from the recondenser area, I guess, is the way that we would say.
All right, I'm back and I'm full of tacos.
Jack, you see what's going on right now?
I do. It certainly looks like they're going for another test, maybe a static, maybe a preburner. Hopefully it's a static fire. I would be very happy to see a 3-engine Raptor static fire for the first time.
One way to find out, we'll keep the cameras pointed this way. We'll keep rolling and streaming until we get some clear indication as to what's going on. So
I'm just going to knock a question off while we're here. A question from Turbo, who asks, yesterday was only one pre-chill engine vent reacted upon ignition. Do you think they only tested one engine? It's a good question. There's a chance it wasn't all 3 engines. And based on what we saw today, or tonight even, with the pre-burner test, it looked like a lot more fire, shall we say, coming out of the aft end. So that, if anything, indicated it was all 3 engines, and it might point to less than 3 engines yesterday. We don't know for sure. Elon said nothing about it, so we can't officially say it, but we just know that it was a second pre-burner test and not in any way either of these tests being a static fire test, because a few people have been saying it was static fire and it wasn't. There's a big difference. You don't need Elon to tell you. You can tell visually that it wasn't a static fire.
Okay, let's see. We're kind of behind on super chats, so I'm gonna quickly go through some.
we're always kind of behind on super chats. They come in so much.
It's a nice thing to be, yeah.
Yeah.
Joel, $25 or 25 minutes ago, sent us $2. So thank you so much, Joel.
There you go.
Blake, once again, Blake is all over the place with the super chats. Every single stream. So thank you so much, Blake.
Jeez.
What my odds for round 2? I think we're asking what the odds are for round 2, and from what we're seeing, pretty high right now. Olives 1, 2, 3 with $5. Okay, so they're working on the thrust to weight ratio. Yes, they are adding more thrust, and they are certainly going to be getting there if we see the static fire happen. So, Bobby with $5. Thank you guys and Mary for these streams and coverage of this amazing time in our history. Well, we could be about to see history be made this morning if the 3 Raptor engines ignite for the first time. Eric Beavers with a membership. Thank you so much, Eric. Joe McKenney with $10. Thank you, Joe. Vaguely Sober with another $10. Mary's a beaut. Well privileged to get to watch this stuff in real time. Thank you, Mary and NSF. Victor Chandra for membership. Imagine with a membership, and that is us almost being caught up on Super Chats because Future Martian 9 has added another $5. So let's just add to the Super Chat list.
That's awesome.
I think I'm done. I like literally clicked the check button and then another one's in the list.
Another one popped up. Nice.
Yeah, it's a really good problem to have. I was reading them earlier, and the list just exploded. I was like, "Oh, I'm almost done," and same exact thing happened. So thank you everybody tonight for your amazing support.
Yeah. Over on my side, hey Culty, how are you doing with the 35 months there? Culty does a ton of stuff to support the Twitch stream over there. Does a bunch of tweets and clipping things and stuff. So hope you're doing well over in your neck of the European woods, Culty. Thank you so much for the 35 months. And then Zen Pagan, his name is Zen Pagan over on Twitch with a new sub over on Twitch. Appreciate you, Zen. Thank you for that. A little bit behind there. My Ford Rusted T- estimate, we do have a T- estimate right now. We're continuing to observe, but looking at the recondenser going, I mean, it does look like something's happening because that recondenser, the venting from the recondenser area still looks like it hasn't stopped. So we're going to watch the progression. Do y'all think that it would be fair to say at least an hour away? I don't know.
I'm gonna look in our member Discord for the folks that have got the spreadsheet up and are
Yeah,
tracking all of this.
They do have a spreadsheet, don't they?
The only thing I'd add is that we just saw a small methane vent from the top as if they're now recycling proper, which obviously the tank condenser, the methane condenser we've seen active now points towards, but that was another indication. So that's just another thing on the line where we're under an hour. So yeah, let's see where we are with the spreadsheets.
Chris, I love the way that you say methane. It's like I knew about aluminium, other various British words that are said differently, but methane I was not aware of.
I've got many more for you if you want, Jack.
Please, please and thanks. Oh, look at that.
Yeah. A little bit of a sustained event from the LOX tank there.
Yeah, we also say Falcon 9. You say Falcon 9.
Falcon 9?
Falcon.
Hey, good job.
So again, the next thing we should see is that tank farm come to life if they're recycling. But I mean, one thing I will say is that they are recycling with a lot of confidence. We didn't see any, crews go back to the pad to check on anything. So either it was a very minor issue for the pre-burner, or they saw the data and they said, "This is perfect. We're going to go for it." So
yeah.
It could very well be a static fire, given that they did not have to go back to the pad to work on any issue first.
And a good question I was going to click on, I don't know if we clicked on it, but I'm clicking on it anyway, was asking how long will the static fire last? Now, we can go on indications of previous static fires where it is literally just like a second or so burst.
Yep.
So, yeah, it'll be just that, but it'll be very noisy. It'll be the noisiest one yet with 3 Raptors. I think you can work it out yourself. But, yeah, it's going to be literally just a fire them up, get some data from the 1 second or so. That's all they need. And they'll go into a data review. So, and then we wait. That's another thing you see. You might not get an instant thing from Elon. There's something called a quick look review, which they use for all their normal launches when they do static fire tests. And that is something they can get results from for about 30 minutes or an hour. And that's why SpaceX tweet static fire complete about an hour after we see it happening, because they do a quick look review to see it was a good static fire test. They don't have to redo it. And then the tweet, yeah, we're good, and we can now set the launch date. And that's how it works. So don't expect Elon to tweet minutes after we see a firing, because he will want to look at the data himself as well and then see if it's passed. And if it's passed...
Sorry, I have to interrupt, Chris. The tank farm is active.
Yeah.
This is a confirmed recycle.
Look at
Excellent.
Excellent. So hopefully we'll see them progress and not just do another pre-burner test, but actually do a static fire.
Yeah. That's good indication. Right there underneath the base of SN8 is what we're looking at. Previously, we just had some sort of little poofy clouds coming out from behind those darker tanks in the foreground. But now the entire set of ground service equipment is just across the board venting, and that is a good sign that they're up to something. Let's put it that way.
going to send a quick tweet out, make sure everybody's aware that we're not done for the evening.
Yeah.
Yeah, good call. It's like last night we were talking a lot about people were saying they didn't get the notification or they got the notification late or something like that and missed the stream. So you might not want another social media platform to have the app of on your phone or what have you, or feel like you have to keep track of. But if you're not on Twitter, I cannot stress enough. Over the last 2 or 3 years, I have gotten extremely into Twitter, and it's really just because of the breaking news aspect of spaceflight stuff. It's become a really invaluable resource. So if you're not on Twitter and you are experiencing notification fatigue or notification issues, I don't know, that might be a good way to track of what's going on. Is Chris B's NASA Spaceflight Twitter account is absolutely a key thing, and I have it on notifications. It's excellent. So good job on keeping everybody up to speed there, Chris.
My pleasure. Thank you. I'm not used to compliments.
Well, I was going to say there are very few people who make my phone buzz when they tweet, but you're on that list. So,
oh God.
Yep.
With great power comes great responsibility.
I tweet a lot.
Yes, but it's usually good stuff that I'm interested in hearing. So, usually, every now and then some round ball gets
Shuttle
in there,
Sunday.
I'll take Shuttle Sunday. Hey, I'm okay with it. Again, y'all, we are standing by. It looks like they may be going for another test here. We don't know what test they may do. The original understanding we had was that they were going to do a pre-burner test, and if everything went okay with the pre-burner test, they were going to go for the first ever static fire 3 Raptor engines all at the same time. This is the first time 3 Raptors have been mounted on an actual test tank that's supposed to fly. I mean, a test vehicle that's supposed to fly. Jack, I think we can call this a vehicle now because it's got engines, it's got fuel, and it's got the rest of the structure that it needs to carry something, right? I guess it doesn't
We should just
yet.
We should get a set of sock and bopper, have a brawl with vehicle test article, test article.
That's how we'll settle it, with the little rock'em sock'em robots.
Yeah, something like that. No,
nice,
I agree.
nice.
It's a vehicle point, and I probably thought it was a vehicle before you did. Hipster stuff.
It's all good. It's all good. Jack thought it was a vehicle before it was actually a vehicle, y'all. He's proud of it.
But before it was cool.
But it is possible. Again, we do not know what sort of test is coming up next, but it definitely looks like SpaceX is up to something out there with the activity that we observe on the tank farm. It could very well be that they may try another pre-burner test. It may be that they're going to go for a actual static fire. We will see.
Okay, in our members Discord, Adrian says 310 to 325 is his estimated T0 window. He's given us a window this time, like a larger window, to be more careful with the estimate, given that the testing they often do have holes with these test sequences. If something's not quite right, they can hold it, and that can cause variations between each round of testing. So we have a window of an estimated window from 310 to 325 as the predicted T0 target based on the previous testing sequences that we've seen with Starship SN8.
Alrighty. Well, one way to find out, like I said, we'll keep watching and see what they get up to.
While we're waiting for this, there's something interesting. If this static fire does happen, there's always ifs involved here. But if it does, and it goes well, then we've got more milestones to look forward to really fast, because we saw in Mary's video today. I'm going to put it into chat in case anybody, I can't imagine anybody has missed it because it's had a lot of views already for a start. In today's video from Mary, she showed the stacking of the nose cone with 5-ring segment. Well, let me just put it in chat. There we go. That comes after the video of last night's pre-burner test. So we now have 2 pre-burner tests in. Hopefully we'll have static fire tests later on tonight or this morning, wherever you are. And then we'll stack that 5-ring section with its nose cone on top of SN8. And for the first time since Mark 1, we'll have a fully stacked Starship. And of course, Mark 1 doesn't really count because Mark 1 was more of a kind of like display vehicle for Elon's previous overview speech. And this one will fly. So this will be the first full stack Starship that will fly properly into the air to 50,000 feet and hopefully land. This is going to be some milestones coming up. When this nose cone goes on, they will then do another static fire test. And now it'll be from the header tanks, which the nose cone contains. So
Chris,
we've got lots of things coming up.
What did you link up there?
I just put the video to Mary's latest video, which was published about 4 hours ago, into chat because that video shows the nose cone stacking.
I think that may be an unclickable link for. I clicked on it to try and go and see it, but I can't
put it in again.
get that to
Hang on.
It works for me.
It doesn't work for you?
Yeah.
Well, I'll tell you what, guys. If you like Daz and it didn't work for you, then you should be subscribed to our channel. And if you are, you will see it in our menu link, and then you'll be able to view it from your pleasure there. I think Daz did it on purpose, didn't he?
Yeah, okay. It looks like when I click on it, it comes up as studio.youtube.com, and it doesn't work. But I think that's because of the way that I bring chat to another monitor here.
Right.
So I just wanted to make sure that the link was good because I clicked it to go and check out the video. All right, good.
Lots of people have clicked on it. We've got everyone clicking on it. We'll have to try that again sometime.
It's a pretty cool trick to get everybody to click on it, huh? Yeah. You like that? I've streamed a couple hours.
We did it on purpose. So what, Michael, do you think we'll be looking for next? What's our next thing on the path towards tanking?
Should see some more condensation coming out the base of Starship SN8.
Right.
We are seeing that venting from the ground support equipment on the right-hand side now that we saw last time. So I think this is probably about when propellant loading, at least liquid oxygen loading, starts. But we think
methane tank venting.
Yeah, we think these 3 liquid oxygen vents, triangle vents as we sometimes call it, happens at about T-minus 12 minutes. So that's the big indicator that we're going to be looking for. And then of course the T-minus 10 minute siren is another big indicator. And then after that, we're basically standing by and watching. There are potentially hold points after T-minus 10 minutes, so it could be slightly longer than 10 minutes, but we'll have to see what happens.
Just to be weird for a second, because I'm quite weird, I'd love to talk to the Boca Chica sheriff who fires up his siren. I know it's probably a different one each time, but just imagine what he gets home from work. What did you do at work tonight? Oh, I was getting calls from SpaceX to put my sirens on.
I mean, Chris, I wouldn't be surprised if it's like 3 different people that it could be, you know? Because Cameron County is not a huge place, and the number of sheriffs and deputies and stuff like that, I wouldn't doubt if it was just a very small number of people who are out there. They probably all know Mary, you know? Oh, yeah,
they will do, yeah, definitely. Well, it must be quite fun, because it doesn't just put his siren on, he runs around the village and everything, doesn't he? Literally around the area to make sure everyone can hear it.
Yeah, it's like an excuse to drive
a camera
really
on him.
fast.
Yeah.
We needed the sheriff cam. Nice.
Yep.
It's pretty nifty. Like, in the same kind of vein, you got to figure that this whatever police officer they have at the roadblock that's doing this, it's just kind of the same as any other sort of roadblock or crowd control type operation, but this one happens to involve a rocket. And
yeah.
I imagine it's a lot of the same way for people who are doing like the work on the high bay, for example, or welders on site who are welding pieces of things together, even just Starship together. Like, oh, it's just another welding job. This one just happens to be a rocket. It's so cool that there's so many of these, so many trades, I guess, involved in the production of Starship that are used in other construction. It's not like a highly specialized, crazy. Nope, it's just some welders, some guys in backhoes. Like I love it. I really do, and it's got to be surreal for all of them. At least I hope it is. I hope they aren't just numb to it. It's just another day in, day out kind of job. But I really do hope that they know what they're working on, and I hope that gives them motivation every day and pride, because it's so cool that they're, like Chris said, are working the vehicle that will most likely take us to Mars. It's insane.
So go ahead, Chris.
Sorry, go ahead. No,
you go ahead.
All right, I'll go. What I was going to say was that I always look back on Google images, which have not been updated yet. They're still not been updated. The Google Earth images of Boca Chica just shows this road to the beach and some clearings where SpaceX obviously bought land and they're just preparing to put buildings on there. And that's just a few years ago. So in the space of a few years, we've now got this rocket factory, literally, and a launch site, 2 launch sites, in fact, all on this road, which they've built up in a matter of years, a couple of years. Now, for these policemen and for these local people who are now working, probably locals who are working on SpaceX Boca Chica, a few years ago, the industry down there had been like fishing and stuff. There'd be nothing like industrial apart from like in Brownsville maybe or South Padre Island. So they've literally got a complete economy going there now.
No, Chris. I got to correct you on that because I'm around there. SpaceX is small potatoes compared to the industry in the Rio Grande Valley. So
tell us about it then.
the SpaceX operation is very small compared to some of the oil rig operations that happen. You got the Port of Brownsville down there that services all sorts of offshore drilling equipment and stuff like that. Brownsville is a huge area, and it's a massive agricultural area as well. Rio Grande Valley has just massive. They grow a bunch of citrus down there. So I grew up in the area, and this is something that always sort of strikes me, right? We look at SpaceX and I'm like, oh, they go so fast. Wow, they built this stuff so quickly. Look at how quickly they move. Welcome to getting stuff done in the industry out there. The oil field industry does not play around. And if you look back a couple years when they were going into the Eagle Ford Shales is like 1,000 SpaceX facilities that got built in a year. So the workers that are out there putting this stuff together, the people building the high bay, the crane operators, the welders, the people running pipes in GSE, so much crossover to the oil field industry, and this is business as usual for them. This isn't even a fast pace for them when it comes to GSE and tanks and that sort of stuff. Now, rockets is a totally different thing. Like, nobody has ever seen rocket production happen this fast, but all the rest of the stuff, the crossover to build this infrastructure, this is blocking and tackling for the welders and pipe fitters out there. This is what they do.
Look, that's a good point because obviously when you're thousands of miles away from it and you've never been in the area, you don't know these things. And we probably need to get that across more because if I didn't know that, I'm sure other people didn't know that either. Well, I know there's oil industry there, obviously, but to anybody who maybe Googling Boca Chica SpaceX, they will go on Google Maps, they will look at the area, and they'll probably focus in on this area, which is basically just like, wildlife area. And they'll think, wow, before this was nothing, now it's everything. So that's probably something we need to get across a lot more, which you just have, obviously, on the live stream. But that is something a lot of people will appreciate. I know that for a fact, because I know I didn't.
Yeah, I'm actually going to see if I can find a photograph from space of the oil field construction that happened. Let me see if I can pull that up here for you, and I'll link it up for you.
There's so much fascinating stuff around the Eagle Ford shale build out.
Oh, yeah.
And flaring in the Eagle Ford. Okay, anyway.
Yeah.
There's but to your point, Chris, I do think like specifically in the Boca Chica area and around Boca Chica Beach, there was nothing, and now there's a lot where SpaceX has built stuff out. And when I say nothing, there was the Boca Chica village and there was the beach, and now there's a rocket factory from basically the ground up in the last year. So, so that's it's definitely really interesting to see. I'm excited for Google Maps to finally update their satellite imagery. But to your point, Das, I mean, both of you are making good points. To your point, Das, it's really advantageous for SpaceX, or it has to be, at least in my mind, that they're in Texas, they're in an area with such a robust oil field industry, and they switched from carbon fiber to stainless steel. Because if I'm not mistaken, stainless steel is used a lot in the refining industry and in those sorts of applications. So, it makes sense. There is a workforce in place in Texas right now because of the huge oil industry that is primed and ready to rapidly ascend Starship and the facility around them.
Yeah, and really quick, an update from our NSF members Discord. They're telling me Adrian is predicting that it's going to be on the earlier side of the window, potentially more towards 310, based on the intensity of the venting we're seeing right now. So that would
my goodness,
310.
That would mean in about 8 minutes, maybe we would see the liquid oxygen tank start that tri-vent.
better get my monotonously hilarious tweets ready for the police siren then. Wow. See, the context of why we're saying things like wow and getting excited about this, especially to uninitiated, is that this is, as we've said before, but we'll say it again, the first ever time 3 Raptors have fired together. Ever. I mean, they just don't do that at McGregor. They've got 3 test stands at McGregor, 2 horizontal and 1 vertical on a tripod stand. And they never fire them all at the same time, obviously, not in close capacity to each other. So this is a real unique event we might be seeing in a matter of 20 minutes.
Let's see. I'll pop over to our member Discord and see if we have any. Blum blum blum. No, no updated. So pointing towards 310, and then 325, somewhere around there. All right. Well, hopefully we get triangle.
Yeah, I want to see the triangle vents. Because what was the timing? If we see triangle vents, then it goes to
Based on the previous 3 attempts, 12 minutes.
How do we not have a triangle vent? Is that what you have as LOX venting, Michael?
Yes,
Okay.
That's what it is.
All right. Just put a little delta sign there. Triangle venting.
We need triangle vent.
Yeah.
We need triangle vents in t-shirts in the store.
Speaking of the store,
Really?
a merch store.
Look at that.
What a segue.
What a segue.
Flawless segue. That's what you get from me at 1 a.m. local.
It's been updated.
Wait, really?
Locks.
LOX tri-venting. I like it. Nice.
There we go. Good compromise. Good compromise.
LOX tri-venting.
Tank farms really going hand. Oh wait. Oh no, I was looking at YouTube and no, it's still active.
Oh, it's very active, yeah.
Yeah. It's not slowing down, and there's more and more condensation coming out the bottom of the skirt right now.
We got 3 cold boys underneath that skirt.
God, that's cool.
Guess which channel is all caught up in the super chats?
Not ours.
Not ours.
Lots of aft venting now, so they're chilling the engines.
Robert Brassington, thank you so much for the $5 Australian. Ben Hastings, thank you so much for $5. Harry Young is here with €5. Here is some caffeine money. Can't say coffees that would probably discriminate against Chris B.
That's true, very true, yeah. Tea and nothing but tea.
Trevor Johnson, thank you for the membership. Jedi, thank you for the £5. Nathan Hartman, thank you for the $5. I can't wait to hear you guys stream the testing of Super Heavy. It's gonna be bonkers, yes it is. Mario,
that'll break Jack.
That'll shatter Jack. Sander, thank you for the €10. Thank you all for dedication to Starship. Any thoughts on the OSIRIS-REx sample collection? Yes.
Oh, that's
That
happening.
Is a big event happening today if you are living on the most time zones at this point, I guess.
10 p.m. UK.
Yeah. The NASA live stream for that goes live at 5 p.m. Eastern Time, 2 p.m. Pacific. So watch out for that later today.
Yeah, that's, of course, where they're doing the tag, they call it, where they're going down to basically fist bump the asteroid and take a sample of the regolith on the surface. So that hopefully that goes well. They've done a couple of practice run-ups where they've approached it and then backed off. Again, this all happens autonomously. The spacecraft flying itself. They actually have a spot on the asteroid that's about the size of a parking space for like a vehicle, right? Like a car parking space. And if you think Teslas are impressive, they're going to park a spacecraft on an asteroid in the same spot that you have to have a Tesla autonomously park itself in whenever it pulls up. So pretty impressive, honestly.
It sounds like you've been talking to some experts.
I did. One of our museum shows that I do with Intrepid Museum was with the regolith collection team that worked with OSIRIS-REx. So they hopped on and answered a bunch of questions. We did like a 2 hour or hour and a half show with them last month, I think it was. So I had lots of cool questions. We did that over on the Twitch side, and Twitch always comes up with lots of good questions. So I sound like I know more than I do because they just told me all this stuff.
Throw a link in chat if you can. I'd be down to watch that.
Oh,
I think Eric Berger described it as smacking it in the face. And that's kind of like an America tweet. And then Scott Manley replied to it, said, no. It's more like a raspberry blow.
It just the little. Go ahead.
I didn't see the Scott Manley reply, but I did see the Eric Berger, like, America's gonna punch an asteroid in the face. I love that so much. But I didn't see the Manley reply. I'm gonna have to go like that.
Yeah, here we go. There is so I'm K Space Academy. That's my website, Kerbal-SpaceAcademy.com, and that goes right. The VOD is embedded there, and you can click and bring it up full on Twitch. But there's like a 30-minute pre-show where we make our own comet. We didn't have an asteroid to make, but has anybody ever done the science experiment, like the little demonstration where you take dry ice and dirt and sand and you crush all the stuff up and then you recondense a little comet and you show sort of the aggregate nature of how comets are formed? Anybody? I'm the only one that did after-school program.
You know what? I didn't know. No, my school was rubbish.
Well, in that video I linked, one of the educators from the museums actually goes through the demonstration. And then we have two people from the team. We had a Solway Irvine from NASA Marshall, who's the mission manager for planetary missions. And then we had Dr. Christopher Sneed, who's actually in charge of astromaterial sample preparation at Johnson. So
that's a cool title.
Very smart people who shared an awful lot of really cool information about the mission.
And then Dan Straight with $20. Thank you so much again, Dan. He says, thank you to everyone that made the stream possible tonight. Sharing these amazing moments in history with people around the world is something special. Yeah, it is amazing how many people from around the world tune into these streams. If you ever ask chat to tell us where they're watching from, you end up with a lot of different countries. So.
Hey, I'm going to turn the ambient up just a little bit so we can listen for walkie-talkies. Because we are coming up on, what is it, around...
I mean, if the predictions in our Discord were correct, we should be within any moment now. We could see the tri-event happening.
All right.
We need to ask Flight Club to do one of his telemetry things like they did with Tim Dodd, because he got that landing down to the second. We need to do countdowns for static fire tests.
Yeah. The ticking, like have a little ticker on screen or something.
I'm gonna say I'm unfeasibly excited about this.
Yeah.
It's just all progression. We've gone through all these tests where they've gone pop, they've gone bang, they've fallen over, all sorts of things have gone wrong. But we've never been too depressed by it because we've always known they've had a test, fly, fail, fix mentality, and now seeing all these other starships lining up in the production site in case this one goes wrong, but goes wrong on a test flight, or that's what they're aiming for, at least to get a test flight out of it. It just shows that they can have these problems, and it's not a big deal. It's not like a normal rocket failing where they've got to stand down for 2 years and fix whatever went wrong. It's just something that's so exciting. It's incomparable to anything else. There's nothing else. No other companies are doing this, and it's the sci-fi looking vehicles. It's something that you can throw a screenshot at somebody who isn't into rockets, and they'll go, "Wow, that looks cool." You don't get that all the time. It's just something refreshing where you can bring a lot more people into something that we're all big fans of in here.
I'm listening closely for the the radio chatter. Again, y'all, that's Starship SN8 out there, and Mary Boca Chica Gal is running the live stream camera, bringing us this live view all the way from Boca Chica, Texas. We are thinking there is going to be another test here. The activity that we observe on the tank farm seems to indicate that that is a good observation. We don't know exactly what test it's going to be. We did see what, from our perspective, looked like a successful pre-burner test, which was basically just a big ball of flame earlier. And we know that SpaceX wanted to do a pre-burner test and then do a static fire where they actually generate force from the engines. The engines generate an appreciable amount of thrust. We get a big dust ball that gets kicked up, and it will be the first time that 3 Raptor engines have been fired at the same time. If they're able to pull it off, again, this is not easy stuff to do. This is the first time they've done it, and so it may very well go up and then abort. It may take them a couple tries to make it happen. But as of right now, that tank farm makes it look like they're getting ready to do something. Oh, look at that. Try vent.
Oh. Police siren.
301.
So, Adrian's siren in. So, the members Discord has made a Google Doc now.
A Google Doc.
They have a spreadsheet with all the history from the previous attempts and then the predictions for current attempts. So,
Can we just confirm you all heard police siren?
I have not. No.
No. It should be 2 more minutes till the police siren.
It might be outside my house. Brilliant timing.
So Adrian was 1 minute off with his prediction.
Wow.
So they're getting really close.
No kidding.
But if you're in the members Discord, there's a link to the spreadsheet in the Starship channel. If you're not in the members Discord, if you're a Capcom or above member on YouTube, you get access to Discord, and we're doing some cool analysis right now.
JGA in there saying he heard, or they heard a walk. So we might be moments away from siren, especially if it's a 12 minute, if these lock. I'm so excited I can't even talk. If these LOX vents are 12-minute vent, then we should be a minute or 2 or less away from warning siren. So excited.
I'm so excited. The tweet I was drafting, I put SN6.
SN6?
Yeah.
Oh no.
Not again.
SimPilot 10, welcome to Capcom. Thank you for the membership, SimPilot 10. And I don't care if it's SimPilot X. X is because I'm a nerd. But no, I'm just giving you. Thank you for the Capcom membership. We appreciate all of our members' support. Super awesome, everybody. And while we're at it, Thomas, go for it.
Sorry, go on.
Thomas Wam, thank you for the $279 in Canadian
You're
dollars.
car driving. I don't know if that's the sheriff or not.
Yeah.
Say thank you.
Yeah,
It's siren.
That was the
There you
sheriff.
go.
Folks, I tell you what just happened. That sheriff drove his car up next to Mary and then turned on the siren. Did y'all hear? You could hear the gravel crunching, and then when it was right next to our microphone, the siren turned on. That sheriff's deputy knew what he was doing. That was intentional. Everybody's getting in on the show around here.
So we are now at 3:14 approximately. We are expecting, most likely, there's a slight chance of pre-burner, but most likely we are expecting an attempt at the first ever multi-engine firing of a Raptor engine. So I think we will probably, I don't know what we're going to do, but I am just so excited and I can hardly talk.
Yeah, this is a milestone, right? This is a big step in the progression of Starship. We've seen 2 full-size Starship tanks fly now, SN5 and SN6, and of course we've seen Starhopper fly, but we've never seen it. Oh, listen to that.
That was a
Wow.
top bit. It was brief
Yeah.
though. I think we're good.
So awesome.
Look at
so yeah,
that.
this will be the first ever firing 3 Raptor engine if they indeed go for a static fire. So huge milestone, just minutes away at this. Thank you everybody for joining us and for watching. Hit the like button. Know that we stream a lot of these from Boca Chica whenever there's stuff going on, thanks to Mary being out there. So hit the subscribe button if you haven't already.
Here, we stream all the tests that nobody bothers showing up for.
Hey, but you know, you can't just stream the cool ones because you never know what's going to happen. It's like fishing, right?
We're not. Go.
You can't just show up and arbitrarily hope that you catch the big one. If you're not streaming for all these tests, then something might happen and you might miss it. So that's why we do that.
We're not fair weather tank plot watchers.
Marcus House with a $50 super chat. Thank you so much, Marcus. They say, Marcus says, hope your ears are okay there, man. Thanks for the stream. Dude. Thank you, Marcus. That's a huge amount of support, and we super appreciate it.
I'll just send a tweet out to make sure everyone knows.
Nice.
Nice.
Let's see
Rusty
if we can do
Can, thank you for the £2. They say, morning, Mary, and tank watching.
And hi to Marcus. I've just seen him in the chat messages. Hi, Marcus. How are you doing?
Everything is so perfect in terms of the weather too. That air is really crisp. You can see Starship without any heat distortion or haze whatsoever, even though Mary's 1.5 miles away. If this is a daytime test, we would have a pretty blurry view from all that heat distortion right now. But this is going to be epic if it happens.
Oof.
So that was the one you said potential static fire test was the latest tweet, right, Chris?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Oh, I could look at the screen. It says 3:03 a.m. in the video. So, all right.
Yeah, my money's on static fire at this point, assuming they actually are able to do the test. They could have to abort. You know, they're going to be very conservative, obviously, but like I was saying earlier, they did not go back to the pad to work on any issues. So I think that's a good sign that everything went correctly with the pre-burner test, and now they're probably going to go for the static fire.
Yep. And there is a link to that tweet that Chris just did right there if y'all want to help get the word out so that the other space fans out there don't miss, history being made, honestly.
Wow. And
Well, Tim's in.
What's up, Tim?
$49.99. Thank you so much. Love you all. Thanks for the hard work. So SN, see this baby fire. Thank you, Tim, so much for your support, and for honestly being one of the people that helps us all kind of grok what's going on with Starship stuff. I just rewatched your Raptor breakdown video today for the second time in a week, actually. Can't get enough. So thank you for making that awesome content, Tim, and thank you for the support. And why do you put a dash? SN?
Yeah.
Like, why do you do that? I have to ask. Did it? Super chat. I have to ask. Why do you put a dash? I hate it. I'm sorry, but I hate
break Jack.
it. I just have to.
His
pick
eye
words. I'm sorry.
twitches.
Seriously though, Tim, thank you for the support. And Manuel Gunther, thank you for €5. Livico, thank you for £5. They say I need to go in like 15 minutes, so this is really intense. God bless what you guys do. God bless you, Livico. Thank you so much. Brent, thank you for the new membership. Peter, thank you for the 50 Czech currency units. Brent, again, thank you for the membership. Looks like you might have upgraded that. Future Martian, thank you for the $20. $20! Kilowatts, thank you for the Australian 2. And Zippy Thing invention. Thank you for the $10. Would you please talk a little bit about the forces that'll be expected for the flaps? Honestly, I don't feel qualified to talk about those forces. If someone else wants to, they can. And Future Martian trolling me, I'm not even going to show it on screen. Thank you for the $5, Future Martian, but I'm not going to show that on screen. It's got a hyphen in it. I hate hyphen.
That's incorrect. Jeez, why would you show that on the screen?
But seriously, thank you all for your support. And Jester just upgraded at Capcom. And with that, we are just moments away.
5 minutes.
3-engine Raptor engine test. So hopefully we see a static fire here shortly. And thank you, everybody, for your support.
Yeah, I'm gonna remove the ticker. We will pause super chats for now, unless something incredibly insane happens. But let's focus on Starship SN8, which is probably about 5 minutes away from the attempt at the first multi-engine Raptor engine firing. I just said multi-engine twice.
That's fine.
I'm tired.
Multi. Yeah. I wonder if it is a static fire that they go for. I wonder if we're going to get that jet of venting coming out the right-hand side. Remember that sort of.
Will.
We should do. Yeah.
I would practically guarantee that this after multiple attempts with that same behavior.
I think that.
Oh, Tim.
Oh,
Tim saying he never noticed that no one else does the dash.
Even Elon doesn't do the dash. So, geez.
Careful, don't say that out loud, because now maybe Elon
Because now Elon's going to troll it. Elon's going to put like a tilde in between it or something. Just to mess with us.
people in our member Discord know how I feel about it, and they all. I mean, that's what Future Martian is doing. They all, yeah, Dan. There goes Dan with like underscores and camel case, all kinds of nonsense.
It's literally the most important thing of the year so far, isn't it? Let's face it.
Yes, absolutely.
All right, so maybe 2 minutes now. We're thinking 3:13 is when we're gonna start eagle-eyeing this thing.
And that siren is not always accurate.
Yeah,
I think that
It could be early, yeah.
test was a little bit earlier than we were expecting.
it was. That's true.
Right, I'm drafting
All
a tweet
eyes-
saying it's the first ever triple static fire, so let's not jinx it.
God, that thing
And
is
that's
going.
jinxed.
All eyes on that right hand there. It almost looks like its pressure is increasing slightly, then decreasing slightly, like it's breathing.
Like it's breathing. Yeah, I see that. Almost looks like it's venting enough to generate appreciable thrust. Jeez.
Don't they do that with a Merlin engine? They vent it in such a way with the second stage so that they get a little bit of extra delta V out of it.
Like they vent extra fuel or something like that?
I don't know. I'm completely grasping at straws here. I
don't
hoping someone
know.
would be like, oh yeah, they're blah blah.
Wow, it's really picking up. Look at that. I mean, you're exactly right, Jack. It like increases, then it pulls back a little bit, and it increases, and it pulls. It's almost like there's waves or bubbles in there.
Yeah, that's really interesting behavior.
We all like scream when it happens and then try to shut up. in time for the sound
To listen to it? Yeah.
No
I'm not
screaming.
gonna say anything, and I'm assuming DOS is gonna take the post fire.
Okay, we'll let DOS try to get a few words in before the sound arrives.
Look, I'm just gonna say,
Okay.
wow.
Say history.
History.
Sufficiently advanced science is undistinguishable from magic.
Last word, freak.
Yeah. I mean, any second now.
Yep.
It's 3:13 again. We don't know the exact timing, but this is sort of the opening of what we think the window might be.
Radio
30
silence time, I
seconds or
reckon.
so. Probably less than 30.
I'm staring at that right hand jet. Come on. Wow. There you have it, folks. That's what a static fire looks like. Did you see that big plume of dust that got kicked up? Also, you have a message. That big plume of dust that got kicked up there.
I don't
That-
see any fires. I think this looks really good.
God.
That was great.
Wow, that was great. Sorry, I couldn't
think
say
that
anything.
was perfect. I mean, we don't know for sure. We don't know like did all three ignited and whatnot, but there is no sign of any damage to the pad or anything on fire. So I think no matter what, they've gotten really good data.
Two
Yeah.
things I would like to note. That was extremely loud.
Yeah.
Holy
And it
cow,
was
that was so much louder
much-
than one Raptor.
It was so much brighter than normal.
It just all of a sudden it looked like just a massive. The
I
entire
was like-
screen went bright.
I wasn't sure, to be honest. I wasn't sure if it had like detonated or something for a second.
And then the second thing I want to note is that sound at the end of the firing. It's almost like a metal crunching sound. or
Yeah.
like two pieces of metal groaning against each other, like a. "Arr!" I think we heard that on SN5's static fire, but then not on SN6. So I wonder if that specific sound is indicative of like a rough stop, or if it's just that sound happened. But either way, I just wanted to note, one, it was extremely loud, and two,
Yeah.
interesting sound at the end.
Right, I've got a tweet out which has got a replay of it before we put the replays into actual live stream. So I'm just going to link it into chat right now.
Good deal.
That was I want to hear what Mary thought of that.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a good point, Chris. I'm dying to know what that was like. And she's the one that's there and has experienced all of these tests.
Yeah.
She'll have a good perspective of what exactly that was quite like. Oh my goodness.
That looked impressive. That looked like 3 engines to me, but we don't know, but it looked like 3 engines to me.
Yep, I would agree. And I gotta say it again. It was so loud.
Well, now,
There you
if
have
this is
it.
anything like another static fire, like with the Falcon 9s or whatever, we're going to be doing a quick look review right now. They'll be going through the data. We know for a fact this is progress because I've got great data from this, regardless if it went to plan or not. And then, if it does pass the data review, we're going to get a nose cone on this thing.
Yeah. Can you imagine?
Lots more. Yeah, lots more to happen yet.
The nose cone install is really going to get, like, that's when things I think are really going to get in people's minds in the mainstream.
Yeah.
Like people that you might be friends or family with that don't necessarily follow these crazy late night tests or know what Starship is. When they get a nose cone on this thing and it looks like a rocket, that's when media, major media will start to pick up the story. And I think you might have a friend or relative or a family member be like, hey, what's SpaceX doing down there in South Texas? So definitely a lot of cool stuff coming. I'm excited.
Thanksgiving's coming up.
Yeah.
You could have the
excited.
family discussion about what SpaceX is up to.
I mean,
Yeah, have like
the
a family
decrest.
debate at the. Oh, there you go.
Yeah.
Whew. Well, we didn't really expect this, did we? We knew they're going to go for their pre-burner test, but
I mean,
we were very doubtful if they're going to go for a
I'm
static fire
almost-
test.
I'm almost in shock at how
Yeah.
smoothly this went. I know they had the one pre-burner test issue. Well, I guess they had one aborted pre-burner test and one where didn't go quite to plan. But assuming they confirmed that all 3 Raptors did ignite, it was a good static fire and whatnot, I would say this has been pretty impressive, the rate of progress from the pre-burner to the static fire, just back to back today, how they did it. On only the second day of, I guess, second or third day of testing. It's quite incredible.
Yeah, so I've got the replay up there in the upper left-hand corner. Let me just resize it a bit. And let's roll the replay here. Let's see what we got.
Because
This
if you
is
go back to previous hop attempts, it took them many times to get all the conditions just right, and you can see on that replay.
And Tim's asked Elon how it went, so we'll see if Elon does reply.
Gotta love
if we get a positive, if Elon does say this went well, then wow, that is some progress.
It looks like there was a little bit of FOD flying toward the cameras. Let me bring this down to quarter speed like we were doing. And there's the
Can we do a
replay.
swapsy?
There's that big. Yeah, sure. We can bring it up full size. We don't think there's anything we're gonna miss there, right?
It looks
No, I
pretty
don't think
stable
so.
to
It
me.
looks pretty stable to me. Yeah, I agree. So let's swap it over. That. Oh, look at that! It's like magic. The camera framing is almost exactly the same. That's cool.
I
So
wonder why. It's almost like it was the same camera.
it's almost like it's the same camera, just a few minutes apart. So there's that big right-hand vent, and I wonder if that goes in every direction. Look at that! That's like a proper rocket launch. I mean, it just all of a sudden it looks like a massive. I'm gonna say the sun rising, but at this range, it doesn't really look like the sun rising. It's just so bright. You see it sort of
I
flicker
see that
out
FOD
there.
you're talking about.
Do you
Yeah,
see the
look at
FOD?
that.
Yeah, here, let's see here.
Yeah.
Right in this area, you'll see something come flying towards the camera. There, it was actually right there. See that?
Wonder if it was
But,
Zeus.
It was Zeus goes flying.
No,
again,
you
not
told me it was 3 engines.
God, look at
I don't know
that.
what percentage of thrust they were going for with this, but a Raptor at full thrust is about 2.5 times as powerful as a Falcon 9. So, let me say that again. One Raptor engine at full thrust is equivalent to about 2.5 Merlin engines on a Falcon 9. So if these were all at full thrust, that's about 7.5 Merlin engines. So that's almost the thrust of a Falcon 9 that we just saw potentially for a split second, assuming it was a full thrust static fire, which I don't know. It could have been less, but still a lot of thrust without a flathead
Holy
rotor.
cow.
just
Can I
goes
just
so
quickly read
bright.
this? I know we're out of order with the super chats, so it's got to reach one from Mark Douglas, £100, which is about $130, by the way. Some funds to buy Mary some dark goggles.
Some safety goggles.
Seriously.
Nice.
Thanks for
you
your
so
support,
much, Mark
Mark.
Douglas. We've got a couple high dollar super chats. Thank you, Mark, so much, and also thank you, Future Martian, so much for another $100 super chat. You guys are insane in the best way possible. Thank you for helping enable what we do.
So I really hope the static fire went well, just so that we get to sleep tomorrow night. I hope it wasn't like the type of thing where like something was
Elon tweets, we're going to do it again tomorrow night.
We're gonna do it one more time just to be safe. I hope we get to sleep tomorrow.
I think the nature of data reviews from tests like this really do rule out anything more tomorrow night. So that's what I'm thinking, at least. Maybe wishful thinking.
I'm gonna see if I can
Mary's
set
just
up
said that
something
was
real
awesome.
quick. Mary said that's awesome. Nice.
That was so cool.
Yeah.
And importantly, I think we keep forgetting this because we're so used to things going well now, but previous tests have had their issues, and this vehicle is standing looking pretty. That is probably the most important thing of all this, is that the vehicle is fine.
Yeah, it's still there.
Yeah.
You know?
We didn't even see any kind of like residual fire like we did after the burner test. There was a very brief, very short period of time where there was a small fire, and then we didn't even need to go to the pad and check, did anything burn? Is everything okay? Nope, they just fired it up again, static fire. Looks so smooth. I mean, wow.
I don't want to jump on Michael's point here, but it's a good point to make that. Imagine that with 28 Raptors.
Yeah.
Oh my
That's
word.
insane.
Yeah.
And I mean, based on how smoothly that went, I think that kind of makes the orbital stand with no flame diverter seem slightly less insane. I mean, if there's going to be 28 Raptors, it's absolutely insane. But assuming they only launch boosters, it's like, 6 or 7 Raptors maybe from that stand. I think that seems more reasonable without a flame diverter, given how controlled the smaller test stands seem to be with 3 Raptors.
I have a question about that though. If they're launching a booster with like 8 engines, does that mean it doesn't have a Starship on top of it?
Well, I mean, I guess without a payload and with less propellant in it, maybe the mass is low enough. I mean, that's the only way I see that orbital standard building being able to work. I just don't see how it's going to be able to support 28 Raptors.
So basically, I guess what I'm getting at is it's been called the orbital stand for as long as we've known, and yet if they're going to use it with a booster with not the full complement of Raptors, like basically what's the minimum number of Raptors they can use on a booster on that stand and fly a Starship into orbit?
If I had one question I could ask Elon right now, that would be it.
Like 12? I don't know, right? Like something like that.
No, that's the number I want to know. If I could ask Elon one thing right now and get an answer, I'd ask him that.
It's a really good question.
Yeah.
And just a quick thing from Twitter, Austin Barnard, who we all know, he was 12 miles away, says it shook the entire ground, lit up the sky like a sunrise.
Oh man, I knew Austin was out there. I gotta go look at his Twitter.
And that's 3 Raptors.
I wonder what everybody on South Padre Island is now, because that's only 5 miles.
Well,
right.
Gina Rachel's tweeted saying, "Congrats SpaceX, really windy on South Padre Island tonight. Was out on my deck and couldn't hear it. So the wind was obviously the wind direction is affecting the sound wave. But
oh wow,
yeah.
Well, here at Boca Chica, it sounded great.
It's Mary.
Hey Mary, how's it going?
Good.
Can you still hear us?
Yeah, Mary,
Yeah,
what was that like? I mean, visually and from what we heard, it was amazing, but being there in person, it must have been crazy.
Bright and loud. It
Sufficiently
was.
louder than one.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah. I never think they're that loud, but it was loud, and bright, much brighter than a single engine static
So
fire.
exciting.
I think
Yeah.
if Mary can see a difference, that's a really good indicator there was actually more than one engine, because Mary has seen all this testing in person.
And like you mentioned, Michael, about that sound at the end, that was a little different, I thought. We haven't always heard that.
It's like
It actually reminded me of like Starhopper.
The shutdown
when,
noise.
Yeah.
Yeah, like that metal crunching at the end kind of sound. Yeah.
Sounds
Yeah.
so cool.
Maybe it was Jack that mentioned that. Yeah.
So I've got
actually, you know
Go
what?
ahead.
That can I just bring up what I always bring up on a live stream, which is shuttle. I mentioned when they do flight readiness tests for the first orbiters they bring out to the KSC, they do a full 3-engine test for like 20 seconds on the pad, and that shutdown noise is different to the abort from a pad abort noise, and that is a crunching valve closing sound. So that might be just a way to shut the engines down for them.
Yeah, that it sounds like a valve closing to me.
Yeah.
Like something stuttering as it works against pressure or something like that. It's what my impression was. But I've got a really unscientific thing that I want to try here. All right, so y'all bear with me and let's see if this works. I don't know if this is actually going to work very well. We'll leave the picture-in-picture up, but check. This is completely just tossed together, right? But here are 2 videos. And let me take the live picture-in-picture off because I'm out of screen real estate. That's that one. It's literally just my desktop. I'm actually going to lose the audio if I do that, but that's okay. So on one side, I have the static fire, and on the other side, I have the pre-burner. And if I do this right, I can put them together at the same time. So y'all watch this, okay? See the difference between a static fire and a pre-burner.
Yeah, for the benefit of that one person on Twitter. Are you sure it wasn't a static fire last night?
I know, right? Look,
A lot of dust on the left, to be honest.
I missed it. Hang on, let's see here. Wait. It's got it. Okay, there's the little vent. All right. No, stop. Okay,
Little vent. What
right
are you
there.
talking about?
The one I'm looking for. All right. So play that one, and then as soon as I'm not fast enough. I can't sync them exactly up. But y'all see the difference there? The fall of fire. Yeah, and all the dust on the right.
Yep, all that dust on the left is so overwhelming.
I mean, that's the difference between a pre-burner test on the left and the actual static fire on the right. That's exactly what we were talking about right there. Do you see the massive cloud of dust over here? This is showing you that there was actually force generated by the engine hitting the ground below it. Over here, no big dust cloud because it was just flames. They let out some flammable gas and then they set it on fire. Over on this side, you can see that it actually generated a significant, appreciable amount of thrust, and it caused an impact on the environment around it. That's the difference. That's how we can look at one and the other and tell what the difference is. So I wanted to bring that up. I know that's not. I'm sure Jack could edit a video much better than I could use 2 instances of VLC on my desktop. But that's the difference. That's cool.
We see some frost on the top now. We saw this yesterday during the testing.
It's like a rapid detanking.
Yeah, we believe it's related to a rapid detanking process they can do now with a liquid oxygen tank. And you can actually see that the liquid oxygen vent has actually petered out a lot quicker this time.
I can try to see if I've got a single Raptor somewhere. Let me see if I can grab a video of the single Raptor back from another...
Oh, good call.
Go to SN4 because that was the last night test. I think the first SN4 static fire was at night, if I'm not mistaken. I can try to find you a link.
Yeah, I'll look at the same time, but just whoever gets it first.
It's such, like, the flow from tonight, honestly, this is just my feeling, not science, it's emotion, but the flow tonight felt really, really, really smooth. And
it did, yeah.
It didn't quite so much feel like a test campaign. It felt more like a operation type I don't know. Obviously, it was tests, but my point being that when they're doing like a Falcon 9 static fire at the Cape, things go smoothly, right? They've done it enough time. They've gone through those steps. They know the procedure. It's kind of predictable. We see the 20-minute vent. We're like, oh, 20-minute vent. And I feel like we're now getting there with Starship, where we're able to start to predict certain things. We're able to see like the 12-minute triangle lock vent thing. Just really cool to see Starship SN8 and the whole program start to shape up operations and become more solid in that way. I'm so excited to see this thing fly, and this is a huge step towards that. Do you guys have the link yet?
No.
Just
I
about
think
Jack.
I got it. I got it.
Just about
I
Jack
blew
up.
it,
There's
I blew
so
it.
many things coming up now. It's not just this
It's in
these
control set
tests
off.
with this vehicle. It's
All right,
just
thanks.
everything in the future as well.
Yeah, Chris, I am super excited. I'm so grateful for everybody that helped out with my GoFundMe, because now my truck is fixed. It's sitting outside my place right now, and when SN8 looks like it's about to fly, you better believe that I'm going to drive it down there and help Mary and help the NASASpaceflight team shoot this thing. And I'm just so excited.
Jack,
There's
for
so
the
many
benefit
cool
of the UK
milestones to
people,
come.
Jack, for the benefit of the UK people in this chat, just tell them how many miles it is.
Like, hang on, let me get my phone and look it up. The last time I went to Boca, I drove over 6,000 miles, but that's because we did a bunch of crazy like road tripping. Hang on, let me see. Boca Chica Beach.
I know for a fact it's
1,000.
more miles than it would take us to basically drive off the edge of the country here.
Drive off the edge of the
1,655 miles. 1,655.
Wow.
I don't know what that is in kilometers. Sorry, but yeah, it's a good.
No,
drive, though.
we
It's a
work on
fun
miles.
drive.
We work on miles.
Oh, what?
Yeah, we do both. We're multidextrous. We can work on both kilometers and miles, but we mainly work on miles.
Smart.
If we do a comparison, one thing that will be different is that we didn't have as much reach on the camera back then.
Yeah.
We figured out a additional setting that gives us an extra crop factor without reducing quality, because the camera sensor is actually a much higher resolution at 1080p. But our last live stream of a night static fire, which was back in May, was a slightly wider angle shot. So
Wait, did I miss that settings change? Because it really does look so good.
Yeah,
So
here,
much
Jack, here's the
better.
difference. So there is, that's the current view in the old view.
Wow.
How did I miss that?
it was several months ago when we did that. It was Brady who told us about it. There's a 1.3x crop factor you can get.
Yeah.
Hooray for that.
Teamwork makes
So-
the dream work.
I think I've got this pretty close here. I don't know exactly how close, but we'll play that one, and we'll play
Man,
this
it's so
one.
weird not having a flare stack in.
Apparently, I did not get it close at all. Oh, we'll just keep doing it over and over again. Look.
Hey, that
It's
works.
just seconds away. Come on.
Just click and hold.
Oh, yeah.
And
How
then
about
let
that?
go when you see it on the left.
There you go. I mean,
So it's interesting, isn't it? Yeah, it's
not a
It's not-
huge difference, honestly.
not like 3 times it, is it? But again, it wouldn't be, would it? If you think about it, you've mentioned before about the power of it and the sound of it and the brightness of it.
Let's look though, because on the right, what we're seeing is more like bright red flash from the engines, and on the left, I'm kind of wondering if maybe we're seeing just more dust cloud illumination, because they've done a lot more work around the pad area
Yes.
in terms of concreting things and taking stuff that was dirt and now making it concrete. So, or even just tamping down dirt that's there. There's a whole bunch of earthwork that's gone on at the launch site. So maybe the left side with just the one Raptor looks similar because it's kicking up a lot more dust or dirt. I don't know. That's just a guess on my part. They could just look similar.
Yeah, I think we
So-
may have to like scale them so that they're the same scale, because it looks like the right hand side is it's so much brighter, but that's also a lot tighter shot, right? So if you zoomed and cropped this so that it was the same scale, you get some more room. And then pausing them at the exact same spot is not exactly easy either. But this you can actually.
But
Go
our
ahead.
ground truth, Mary, did say that it was a lot brighter. So we do know that it was. It's a matter of what did the camera pick up.
Yeah.
Sorry, I had to sneak in a ground truth.
I like it.
Come on, Elon, give us a tweet before we go off air.
Like certainly
give us a tweet.
Elon.
I
wants us
just
to know
still
how
think
it
about
went.
the quick look review. I think that you just can't. He can't really say anything until he's gone through the data review. So I'm just thinking maybe 30 minutes after the test. We're coming up on that now, aren't we? If he wants
We
to
are,
tweet, he
yeah.
doesn't have to tweet, does he? Let's face it.
You know, the wind may have something to do with it as well, or the pad infrastructure, because look, the initial plumes actually seem to reach about the same height comparative on the rocket itself, but the wind must have a lot to do with that, you know? Like, it's not like the 3 Raptor shot made a much like, oh, the dust plume is well over the top of SN8. It's like this, the dust plume height comparatively, just looking at the height of the SN and then how high the dust plume went, it doesn't really look like there's a big difference there. See, I want to take like, wish we had like some sort of, Jack, you might know how to do this in Premiere or something. Like, can you figure out how bright a scene is? But I guess that would be how the camera reacted, huh?
Yeah, you could probably throw a scope on it
But that's a good
and
point,
see
though.
like
because
what
the
does a
camera would
histogram
react
look like or
differently with the
whatever,
different zoom.
Well, the camera's
Yeah, and-
also on automatic settings.
Auto.
So the
Yeah.
camera may compensate to make it
It
the same
does.
brightness.
Yep.
Yeah, it for sure does. And yeah, so it's kind of hard to do a one-to-one unless the camera is in manual and the same settings every time, which is hard to do because the conditions change every time. Yeah, it's the way that we have it set up is best. So
Yeah, so I think you go with the actual
it's definitely
ground
important
truth,
to know.
right? Which is Mary.
Yep.
Mary's there,
Exactly.
and she doesn't, her eyes are, well, I guess her eyes do sort of compensate based on how bright something is, but not like the camera does, right? And if Mary said that it was visually brighter, she sees all these things in person. Like, she's seen every single one they've done. So I would believe her over our, oh, well, look at this, and look at this, and like trying to reverse engineer it from the camera, knowing all these variables keep flipping around. I would just trust Mary. She's the one who knows.
Yeah, exactly. And I'm reading our member Discord. I guess a quick summary from Adrian, which I think is pretty good, pretty useful. From 4 data points from the engine testing with SN8 now, the start of the condenser is not really a good indication. It gives a pretty far time range. This is a list Adrian has compiled. 2, when we get a really good signal when the tank starts kind of venting or compensating from below, like we can see it is right now. That happens around 26 minutes before T0, and so far is really consistent. Then the triangle vent so far is also a wonderful indicator. Remember that those 3 LOX vents, tri-vent down near the bottom there, that's been 12 minutes away from firing every time so far, 4 times in a row. Then, of course, siren 8 to 9 minutes away, and can't see the deluge. Yeah, people talk about the water turning on. That's one I definitely do want to mention. I haven't seen the water turn on yet, but I'm often looking at chat or looking somewhere else. So, but yeah, good quick summary. I'm super excited that we have a little indicator there of, you know, the 12 minute triangle vent and things like that. And we're starting to firm up our tea leaves as we analyze what's going on with the prototypes.
And just to answer a few questions in chat where they say it's not very scientific what we're doing. We're just nerds. We're just going on what we're seeing visually. SpaceX don't cover this officially. So we're not getting any information from them. The only information we get officially is from Elon when he tweets. But yeah, we're all rocket fans. We're just nerding out. So yeah, don't expect any data points being mentioned here because we don't know them. So we're going on the visuals and we're having fun with it.
Yeah, and we're honest about it as well. Like, we look at it, and we're like, wait a second, that can't be right, because the camera adjusts. Like, we were thinking through it, we're experiencing this and sort of commentating on it live, and I honestly think that's part of the experience. I sort of like working through it. I almost think that you get a better appreciation. You almost learn it a little bit better if you see somebody think through it than if a SpaceX person just came up there and said, well, actually, the thrust was 3, you know? And it's like, okay, whatever, I'm not going to remember that. But if you see somebody sort of figure it out, it sticks a little bit better. It's more of a little educational thing. So I have fun doing this sort of stuff. I'm not trying to say, yes, I know the exact numbers by comparing the pixels, right? Like, at the end of the day...
I like your 1960s NASA voice there.
The thrust was 3. It's, at the end of the day, we're excited about it. It's a really cool thing to witness. It's a really cool thing to share with people. And trying to sort of figure it out with our roadside rocket science methodology is part of the fun, and it's part of the experience here. It's how we sort of share our content, I guess. So anyway,
I love the thrust is 3. Like, there's no units given. It's just 3.
3. Nobody can tell me I'm wrong if I don't give units, right?
Fair. Yeah, fair.
Yes. Anyways,
a lot of people are wondering if they're repressurizing or going for another test. This does look like detanking. It always looks like this. They're using a different kind of method from detanking from previous ones, where they don't just go double vent and keep doing it until they depressurize it. This is the methane condenser just taking off the methane now, so we do think it's detanking. We think the test is done.
We need to get Elon to tweet the thrust is 3. One of the different things we can see on the screen right now, you see the smokestacky bit on the left-hand side on the top of those tanks. That is one of the indications that they're actually detanking, isn't it, y'all?
Yep.
As opposed to before, we didn't see that go off when they were sort of maintaining for the second test, right?
Yeah, and the frost that was being mentioned is now decreasing, so obviously it was just that's part of the detanking process.
Yeah, everybody gets super excited. Wants to see another test, like.
I'm pretty sure this is done for tonight, given that they have a lot of data to pull over or to go over, and I'm guessing they're going to want to get back out to the pad and inspect the Raptors to make sure everything is good.
And I like there's still 6,000 people in this chat. I know a lot of people were there for the main events and the tests, and then obviously leave after the test. But for the time of morning, it is in the States, which is our main demographic. 6,000 people still hanging around with us. It's really impressive.
Yeah.
It's exciting, and it makes me happy that people are interested and excited about the future of spaceflight. It really does. It's like a heartwarming feeling.
Yeah,
it's really great.
Jack. Austin's tweeted a clip of what he saw, so I'm going to put it in the chat.
Oh, wow.
And I tell you what, that is not unlike a shuttle night launch, and that I mentioned to him in reply that's quite impressive, because the shuttle night launch includes not just 3 RS-25s, but also the 2 very bright solid rocket boosters. To get that kind of effect from that distance is pretty impressive.
The other thing that I have experienced from seeing a shuttle, thankfully, extremely fortunate, is the air ripping sound that comes with rocket launching was just nothing, no other rocket close to those sound of those solid rocket boosters tearing the air.
Yeah, those really have a better alarms from 4 or 5 miles away.
It's definitely going to be awesome to see 28 Raptors. I bet the sound that they generate is going to be absolutely insane. I gotta go look at this Austin tweet. Hang on, I'm gonna mute myself.
I know I almost thought you were going to say it'd be awesome to see SLS launch. Oh, poor SLS.
I mean, that too. That too. I'm
for SLS.
Honestly, it would be cool to see.
Yeah.
I will go to the first SLS launch
when
I can at all. If it's, I plan on attending it, because why? It's a giant, awesome rocket. That's why. You can get into everything else about it, and I'll agree with pretty much everything else you probably have to say if you're somebody in the chat that's hating on SLS right now. But fact of the matter is, it exists. I will absolutely go watch a giant, insane rocket launch.
So what is our plan here, folks? We're hanging out. I mean, we're pretty sure that that's the end of the test campaign tonight. But what do we want to do?
I think Mary likes to wait for the roads to reopen.
The road to reopen?
Yeah, this road to reopen, I should say.
Might be a while though.
Yeah. But an Elon tweet would be nice.
That would be nice.
Yeah.
Is anybody fervently refreshing his feed?
And I've got him on notification.
Oh, okay. There you go. If everything went well, what is the next thing that we think we're going to see here? Not tonight, but out at Boca Chica.
Nose cone install, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That will be our next live stream from Boca Chica, most likely, assuming that, Mary's able to get a spot on the side of the road for good view and whatnot. But
And
That's
they're
amazing.
supposed to do it like just right out at the pad. They're not going to take it
Yeah.
back in and then take it back out. They're just going to bring the nose cone to it.
Yep, it's gonna be insane. It's good. The total height of the vehicle is gonna almost double.
Wow. We're going to be too zoomed in then.
Yep.
I'm so excited for nose cone install. It's going to be, I know I've already said it a couple times, but it really will change how everybody views this vehicle and how this vehicle is perceived by normal people and mainstream media. Because right now, nobody knows SpaceX is doing some weird stuff down in Texas, blah, blah, blah. But no. When this looks like a rocket, people are going to start carrying it a different way. And we're just days away from it. I mean, it really seems like their timelines are extremely well executed at this point. The way that they just stacked SN nose cone today. It's up until a couple days ago, I've been saying, well, who knows when SN8 is going to go? It might not go before November. They got a lot to do. The nose cone isn't even done yet, but it's close. But now it's like, no. The nose cone's it's stacked. I mean, there's surely more work to do on it, but they just got to wheel it out to the pad once it's ready, and it sure looks like it'll be ready soon. So in the next couple days here, nose cone install, DOS, to answer your question. And then
There you go.
another static fire, right?
Yeah, and I see people saying in chat the nose cone installation after the next static fire now.
No.
I believe the nose cone installation is required before the next static fire because they're going to do a header tank static fire, and the liquid oxygen header tank is located in the top of the nose cone.
Correct.
Yeah.
Yeah, the methane header tank is part of the common bulkhead, which is in between the methane tank and the LOX tank. But the LOX header tank is way, way, way up at the very tippy tip of the nose cone. So nose cone required for a header tank.
If,
Real
the-
quick-
if those people had gone onto NASASpaceflight.com and read an article by some hack called Chris Bergen, they would have known that.
Really quickly,
Michael, what were you going to say?
we missed a $50 super chat 16 minutes ago from Lee Dial. I'm so sorry, but thank you so much for your support. And oh boy, we're in trouble. We missed two $50 super chats.
There's a whole stack.
They say thank you again for helping the rest of us experience history and that making you guys rock. Thank you so much, Lee Dial. That's super generous. And then Alex Jones also with $49.99. So lots of people of support. Bent Straight also $20. Thanks, Mary. You are a hero. And thanks to the side channel supporters, Marcus and Tim. Yes, thank you so much to Marcus and Tim for hanging out tonight and watching history be made with us. But I don't know how we want to get through this entire stack of super chats we have.
You want me to
Hang
speed
on,
run
I
'em?
haven't.
You got it,
I
Jack?
haven't been sitting at the desk. I stepped away from my command station with all my chat feeds and screens. I've just been watching my iPad with our preview. Hang on, okay. Strapping back in. Imagine me getting into like a spaceship. All right, here we go. Oh my God, there's so many. What did you guys do? How
You
did we
didn't
get
look
this
at the list
behind?
first, did you?
Yeah, I guess not. Wow, you. First off, Bent Straight, thank you. We just did you, but you're insane. The amount of support we get from you is crazy. So thank you, Bent Straight. Let's see. Mount Dog, thank you so much for the $20. This is crazy, you guys. Frazier, you put the hyphen in. I know you put the hyphen in to mess with me, so I'm just gonna throw it on here. New Zealand 349. Thank you, Frazier, so much. Ghost Rider, thanks for the new membership. Let's see. I don't know if I'll be able to tell what level you came in at. Nope, I can't. But whatever level you came in at, we hope you really enjoy your perks. Get with that, and hopefully, I'm gonna here we go. Double Bob. Somebody predicted that because I always do a double Bob in chat. You get members emoji if you're a member. So throw some in chat. Code Phoenix, thank you for the $5. They say, what was the Bert noise from a few minutes ago? I don't know. I didn't hear anything like that. Did you guys?
The engine shut down. When the engine shut down, like this almost sounds like a Jake break for a Raptor engine.
Mark, thank you so much for the $4.99. Nightwish Shoemaker Time. That's that band that Chris B likes, right?
Yep.
And then Chris Baker, thank you for the £5. They say nice. I would agree. George Cook, thank you for the $5 New Zealand. They say thank you guys. Thank you, Mary. It's awesome. Great footage. Great coverage of the static fire investment. Thank you for watching. Good old Texas Tech watching, George. Thank you so much for the support. CA&P Railroad, thank you for the $5. They say here to waking up 2 minutes before. Here's to waking up 2 minutes before firing. Nice. I always see a lot of people say that. Like, I just made it in time. I'm always like, wow, was there really that many people that managed to catch it? And it's good luck. It's good luck on all your parts. Frazier saying, I love the bark at the end of the fire. Thank you again, Frazier, for your second little super chat there. Dan Vitale, thank you for $4.99. This list is so huge. Dan Vitale, thank you for the £4.99. He says, I felt that in Essex. Sarah Ecton, thank you for this is 35 minutes ago. We're so behind. $4.99. Thank you, Sarah, so much. They say you guys get some sleep now. That was awesome. Thank you, Mary. Thank you for the rest of the team. Thank you, Sarah. Blake Parsons was $7.99 in Australian. They say, do they go for round 3? No, Blake, we think they're done tonight, but thank you for all the support. Lee Dial, that was $50 super chat. Thank you so much, Lee Dial. And with the new membership. Awesome. Oh my God. Blue Stag, thank you for the 1,000 rupees. Love from India. Tony Crudson Kennedy, thank you for the £5. They say, on the money. Thanks to all, especially Mary. Toby, thank you for the $6.99 Canadian. They say, bring out the champagne. Agreed. That'd be appropriate right now. Although maybe we should save that for the 15-kilometer flight. Craig Bates, thank you for the $7.99 Australian. They say, thanks for your excellent coverage. Thank you, Craig Bates, for watching and for your $7.99 super chat. We really appreciate the support. Dare Philanderer, thank you for the Philanderer? I don't know. What is that? I've tried previously to pronounce it. How do I pronounce it? At me in chat, person, and I will, give me a phonetic spelling. CHF, $2. Thank you so much for the super chat. They say, what a morning for me. Awesome. Yeah, I mean, what a night for all of us. What a morning, whatever it is for you. We saw history. Chad Nodo for the new membership. AK, thank you for the new membership. Let's see. And Greg Smith, thank you for the new membership. Welcome to Padrat, buddy. Oh, and William Hyatt. William Hyatt sounds like a cool, Wild Wild West. If I was going to get in a gunfight duel and I needed an alias, I'd be William Hyatt. Good name. Mark Osterland, thank you, €2. They say Godspeed for Jack's truck. Thank you for that. Greg Smith, thank you for the $5. They say thanks to all and thanks to Mary for the amazing camera work. Would love to see an SN5 static fire replay to compare the metallic moan sound as well. Metallic moans, wrong. Yeah, that would be a good thing to compare. Do it to, I forget if it was static SN5 or what, but one of those other ones made some groans. And Mary said it might have been Starhopper, which I definitely think is probably right. Austin Johnson, thank you for the $2. Colin Jerome, thank you for the $5. Taylor Van Camp, thank you for the $5. They say make a thrust is 3 shirt. I would wear that, honestly.
I would wear the thrust
I don't know
what
the graphic would be, but it just say thrust is 3.
Three cones like Raptor nozzles. The thrust is 3.
3 thrust. And Frazier, thank you for the $3.49 to keep me talking. I mean, I know I'm jamming through them really quick, but I just want to make sure that we can get some rest tonight. It's been a long one. It's been a long couple nights, but seriously, thank you all for the support. It is insane the level of support that we get from our viewers. It's seriously awesome, and it enables what we do. So if you like what we do, then you're gonna get more of it because you support us so much. So look at that.
Hey,
Depress.
event. Yeah, depress.
All right, well, it's 4 a.m. local. I don't know. Think you guys want to wind this little thing down here?
I gotta run a test real quick, if that's okay. Can I run a test?
Sure.
I was going to get off and say thanks to everybody's support and for joining us on this historic night. It's been really fun. And we'll see you all again soon for the next events, which will be coming up in the following days.
Yeah.
Yeah, night, Chris. Thanks for hanging out, or day, or whatever it is.
Yeah,
I'm off to work now.
It's like 10 o'clock over there, isn't it?
Yeah, 10 o'clock in the morning, I'm off to work.
Cool. So take it easy, Chris. Thanks for joining us this evening.
Cheers, guys.
Michael, that looks pretty stable there. That's a secondary feed off the full-time feed, and it looks like it's nice and stable.
Nice.
So pulling the 24/7 camera and then also pulling in a copy for the broadcast looks okay. A little bit
Can we
foggy over
move?
there.
Can we move the frame for Fleet Cam down like?
Yeah, I
2
know,
pixels?
Jack. I know. I just tossed it together. I know. I'm sorry. Here, I'll do it. Oh, I just tossed it together really quickly. There.
It's seriously just
Wait.
it's like 2 pixels. Ah, it's like
That's better.
it's like
See-
oxygen for my eye. Thank you.
Realistically, I need like a frame so you put the video behind it. And you don't have to get it exactly matched
Yep.
up, and then
Yep.
it like crops the edge for you automatically. That's what I need on this scene. I'm not a graphics designer, you know.
Yeah, me either, man. Me either. I make the labels for the videos and whatnot, and I'm like, that's not good, but it is what it is, and I just gotta get this done because gotta get the videos done. History,
Yeah.
and we have to share it with people.
No. By the way, dude, thanks again for all the help with the editing. I'm not a video editor either, y'all. I just do live streaming stuff, and Jack has been helping me out immensely, learning some Premiere tips and tricks. So, dude, thanks for helping me out with that stuff.
No worries. Teach a DOS to edit or show it. Wait, what's the? Oh, I already put. Edit for a DOS. Oh, screw it. You get it. You're
Give a
welcome.
DOS an edit, and you'll let him post a tweet and teach a DOS to edit, and he'll never freaking stop with the time lapses.
Something like that. There
Something
you
like
go.
that. I'm talking about the Fleet Cam time lapses. We've had the Fleet Cam recording things that were going on, and we basically got the entire processing flow for 1058. We got the fairings coming back, we got the booster coming back, we got the booster being put onto the dock, we got the booster being laid down. Like the whole shooting match was a bunch of time lapses that I had up on Twitter. But that is I've been having a lot of fun with that, and the reason for me putting the 2 cameras side by side was because I was seeing if I could spool in a copy of the Fleet Cam broadcast feed for a secondary stream at the same time as I was pulling a 24/7 camera off on the side to see if the connection that camera is using would support basically 2 broadcast pulls at the same time. So it looked pretty nice, honestly. So anyways, I think we're about good to go here, y'all, right?
Yeah, last thing is Graham Stockfield, thank you for the $5 Australian. They say, thanks again, Guy. And Mary. What a great day for SpaceX and everybody. And honestly, Graham, way to go with that super chat. 1, you're supporting us with $5. Thank you so much. And 2, I mean, I couldn't have said it better myself. It's a great day for SpaceX, assuming this test went well, which it certainly looked like it did. And hopefully we get confirmation of that from Elon here shortly. But either way, it's an attempt at a static fire, and it certainly looked like it's full static fire. And it's a great day for SpaceX and everybody because we're one step closer to Mars. But also, thanks to Mary for these amazing views. And with that, I am done talking. I'm Jack Beyer. Thank you so much, everybody, for watching. Oh my goodness. We're going to get a nose cone on this thing, y'all. And we're going to static fire it again, and we're going to go to space. Or we're going to go to 15 kilometers and then space. But you get it. Exciting.
Something like that. Y'all, Jack Beyer, you can find him on Twitter there at the Jack Beyer. It's up in the right-hand corner. Jack, you also like to put the Instagram in there too, don't you? What's your Instagram again?
Yeah, I'll throw a link in right now. It's Neon Heat Disease on Instagram. I need to get better about posting on there more. I haven't posted in a little bit, but the most recent stuff I did was when I was down there for SM6. I posted stuff on my Instagram. So take a look. I shoot aircraft, the desert, and all the crazy places that I travel to in my Land Rover. So if you want to follow me and get a little bit of behind the scenes or additional photography besides my Twitter, there's my Instagram. So thanks, everybody.
Excellent. And then also on the stream this evening, we had Michael Baylor. Michael, are you still on comms?
Yes, I am. Thank you all for tuning in. I will not say anything more than that so that I can get to bed as soon as possible.
You can find Michael over on Twitter at NextSpaceflight. See it in the upper right-hand corner. Maybe toss a link into chat there as well. We had the live feed from Boca Chica, courtesy of the most dedicated person covering history that I have ever known. Boca Chica gal Mary is down there running the cameras for the live streams, running the cameras for the daily videos, uploading stuff every single day. I mean, they can barely drop a hammer at Boca Chica, Texas, at the SpaceX facility there without Mary hearing it and then going and getting a video of them picking it back up again. So put some love into chat for Mary, our Starship documentarian, videographer extraordinaire, literally one of the most dedicated people I know when it comes to sharing this sort of cool content that most people all over the world would never have an opportunity to see if it wasn't for her there documenting this stuff. So, Mary, thank you so much. You know how to find her on Twitter. Boca Chica Gal is her Twitter handle, and that's what I like to see in chat. Everybody spelling her name correctly, Mary. Mary is her name. Y'all, what was that there? I thought I cut somebody off there for a second, or if there was something else I was missing, but maybe it was a walkie-talkie or something. But y'all, for real, we would not have all of this amazing content from every nook and cranny SpaceX Boca Chica site without Mary being out there. So thank you very much for Mary's dedication. And then finally, I'm John Galloway with NASASpaceflight. If you see me over on my Twitch stream, you may know me as DOS. I know leaks, but you can find me on Twitter at KSpaceAcademy. Then my Twitch stream over there as well, twitch.tv/DOS Valdez. Don't ask where that name came from. I need to change it. It's just I'm stuck with it for 6 years. What are you going to do? But appreciate everybody showing up this evening. Hey, congratulations to the SpaceX teams pushing forwards to get these tests done. That pre-burner test we saw, which was nice and bright, ball of fire, vehicle still there, and then what I would call a rapid turnaround for the actual static fire of the Raptor engine. So we will stand by and wait for some, hopefully, confirmation from Elon that they got all the data they needed. They lit all 3 of those engines. But for now, NASA Spaceflight's going to go ahead and sign off from the live stream this evening. Be on the lookout for more content, the daily videos here on the YouTube channel. Launches coming up this week. I think we've got some slots that may or may not happen. And then also, whenever they get around to snacking the nose cone on SN8, I guarantee you that we will try to bring that to you live. So for now, we're going to go ahead and shut it down, and we will see you nerds later. Thanks for joining. Thanks for sharing this with us.
Pressure looks good. Following up. Roger, roll, Atlantic. Water towers fly! Spotted downside, FD off.
Yikes. You bet. Concur. We don't need any more of these.